Is going on, Otters? We have made it here. It is the Blue Otter League quarterfinals as we are zooming already straight into the draft. My name is Yanni. I am joined here by Shibby. As Shibby, this is going to be a real treat to watch. Both these teams very strong with a lot of relatively fresh faces.
Yeah, new players on both sides for Dogu and Iceborn on. I think two teams that I'm not going to say flew under the radar necessarily, but took some time to kind of power up through the weeks. Although we did have a relatively short regular season, only, I believe, 5 weeks of play, and we're now into the quarterfinals. Both of these teams had to kind of go through the mud and the dirt before they can really make it here. So I think this is arguably the best matchup we have in quarterfinals, hence why we're streaming it. And we're getting directly into bans here. Dogu taking out Jarvan, Yone, Rakan, Iceborn Dawn as well, removing the Udyr, the Akali, and ACAP's Zeri. We saw a little bit of professional play yesterday. If you guys were up for NA versus the EU, the last
if you weren't, that's okay.
Yeah, if you weren't, that's okay. So we have a small taste of what the meta should be, as both the live patch and Worlds patch is currently the same.
Which is always great, man. It means that these leagues, this level of play is, it can be a mirror of what you'll see at the highest levels of play. And even some of these lower leagues, right? Even, I hesitate to call the Master League lower leagues, can find the little things that's like, hey, this works really, really well in the meta. No surprise here. Both of these teams play around their bot lanes. We're going to see Zaya, Kaisa get locked in, 180 carry a piece for each of these teams. And then Annie is going to be picked up here for Iceborn Dawn.
Yeah, not uncharacteristic for Iceborn Dawn here. Fui has been, I'm not going to say been playing the more supportive style mids, but definitely likes to enable his team, likes to be either that primary or secondary engager. I really like how they've kind of slotted into this role. I think Iceborn Dawn as a team is probably one of the more well-rounded teams in regards to how they want to play the game, right? They win through bot, Vertigo goes crazy, and Mint Savage and Fui kind of just play these supportive, maybe engage or tank style champions just to help their team get across the finish line here. Whereas Dogu, Usun, they have a similar play style, but it's heavily focused more on ACAPs than anybody else.
Yeah, ACAPs is the one you want to enable. And Usun is going to be out. It's going to be Quokka who's going to be paired with them. This is a titanic match of bot lanes here. ACAPS and Usun versus Your Mom's OP and Chill Will Kills was really going to be your feature matchup. Now, throwing a wrench into the plans here because Your Mom's OP has probably been the best AD carry in the league, if not pretty damn close. So now with this, this change in the bot lane for Dogu Usun, I am worried elsewhere. As you can see, some crazy lock-ins going in. Mint Savage has an extremely wide champion pool, has played Swain once in the top lane, and it looks like he's going to get it again.
Yeah, AP heavy side for Iceborn Dawn here. Now the second round of bans comes through the Skarner ban on Dogu. It's purely a target ban on their jungler here, but giving away the Cassante, the Azir, two champions that we saw yesterday are clearly very, very strong still. Cassante not receiving that round of nerfs just yet that he will be getting in the next patch 13.20, but Azir slowly creeping up as one of these powerful mid laners, outranges most of the cast here. And I have a feeling that Iceborn Dawn is going to maybe have to slot into that more long-range Kai'Sa build rather than, what we've been seeing kind of popping up in solo queue and popping up around the world is that more, early impact kind of lethality Kai'Sa build that we've been seeing. I know you're a fan of it, Yanni.
Yeah, and I think it's not bad here, but the problem is the poke build. You get a lot of magic damage already if you're Iceborn Dawn, so you're going to have to really decide what you want to do with your jungle pick here. And a lot of good physical junglers taken off the board. You saw the Graves hover. It's a popular pick for Vertigo, so Vertigo might want to look into going that, and you already see he's going to lock it in there. And you know what? With plenty of CC provided in your mid and top lane, I like this pick, Shibby.
Yeah, the only concern I have is their front line, right? They obviously can't round it out with a very tanky support pick here, something like the Alistar, something like the Nautilus, Leona. All of them are still very much available at the moment. As Dogu is going to have to lock in their support and jungler, like you said. Jarvan taken off the field, Zinzao, like what are you default to here? Is it something like the Gragas where you can play this Gragas jungle into things like the Graves, like the Kai'Sa? You play for these really flashy, fancy plays. Not the biggest fan, as I would have liked to see something a little bit more tankier. Most Gragases nowadays are opting in for kind of that like Everfrosty one-shot build. Almost. Yeah, the TikTok build, the Bomba build.
The Bomba!
The Bomba build. As a Lulu is going to round out Dogu's composition here, empowers the Xayah, empowers the Azir. I think, going second item Ardent Sensor for this Lulu could provide tons of value.
Yeah, and the question is, what do Iceborn Dawn want to respond with?
That's not a tank.
Yeah, that's not a tank either, It feels like you saw a Nautilus hover earlier. It feels like a Nautilus hover would be really good. We're going to see a Shaco support hover there, as some of us may or may not know how deeply scarring Shaco support can be, but it is going to be the Nautilus lock-in to play it into the Lulu to round out the Iceborn team composition nicely. Shibby, I gotta say, I really like what Iceborn's put together, but also based on how quickly the picks were made, it feels like Dogu got a composition that they wanted.
Yeah, I think the only wrench in this composition really is that Gragas, right? Because I'm like looking at it, I'm like, okay, Xayah has a lot of safety tools. Azir has a lot of safety tools, both really long range. Cassante, he can team fight if he wants to, but he really wants to play that side lane advantage, right? He really wants to just keep Swain away from the rest of the team. Gragas, to me, just feels a little bit out of place and a little bit out of pocket. It almost seems like they've purely drafted Disengage, which I get if you're anticipating something like the Nautilus, like the Leona. That Gragas R barrel, the ultimate that he has, is just really insane at just saying, hey, you know what? Stop right now. I don't want to fight. The explosive cast is really, really good in that regard. But I just want to see what he's going to be able to get done in the early game, because Graves can just farm kind of relatively easily and not have to worry about Gragas invading. So it's up to the Gragas on Dogu's side to make things happen, to start stuff going around the map. And if he doesn't do anything, if he can't get kills, can't get assists, and he kind of falls behind, the Graves is just simply going to outscale, especially with some of the newer builds that we've been seeing. I think we've been seeing like Triforce, Spear of Shojin, or Gore Drinker, right? There's a ton of different builds as Graves can go that makes him relatively beefy.
Yeah, and to your point about disengaging, I mean, Gragas is really good into Swain into that sense, because once you turn off the Demonic Ascension, you're looking pretty good. Swain definitely loses a lot of his luster in those fights, but you're absolutely right. This Gragas needs to make an impact in these lanes, and these are lanes that you can make an impact in, right? So, Mughal playing Azir, it's something that once they joined with the team, they've played a lot of. down in the bottom lane, seeing the Xayah picked up. It's been banned a couple of times, but it's been picked the most by ACAPs out of any other champion. And then Cassante is something that has been banned against Lacan a lot, and something that he's picked up a lot. It's pretty much his first option. If you don't ban it, he's going to take it. And yeah, going into the Swain, it remains to be seen how that lane's going to go, but it is certainly worrisome. This is somebody who's very experienced on Cassante, and if you get them ahead, we all know that Cassante later in the game can become an absolute menace against any carry.
It's really weird too, because it feels like both of these teams have swapped identities for this match, right? Obviously, Iceborn Dawn, relatively passive team. We can say that like a lot of their members have the least amount of deaths in the game. They also have the least amount of kills. They've got really, really good macro play in regards to how they want to take turrets and how they take heralds. Whereas Dogu, they seem to be a lot more aggressive, right? A lot of their carries tend to have a lot of kills, high risk, high reward kind of play style. But it seems like these team compositions are swapped on each side, because Iceborn Dawn has a super dive heavy composition. They've got Kaisa, they've got Nautilus, they've got Graves, right? They all want to get in your face, as well as Eddie, who wants to flash in, Tibbers your team. Well, as Dogu, they've got Xayah, Gragas, Azir, these long range, like keep away kind of tools, where it's like, I would have love to see these comps on the other side of the team, but it feels like they've both just been kind of drafting more adaptation heavy rather than kind of getting what they're used to. And so Iceborn Dawn, with this team composition, are they going to swap their play style, or are they going to keep that same steady kind of, we're going to out macro you, we're going to outpace you, we're going to rotate out of you, and we're going to get all the turret plates, we're going to get all the turrets, and we're going to just make sure that you can never fight us unless it's on our own terms? Or is Dogu, despite having things like the Azir, like the Cassante, like the Lulu, will they play aggressive? Will they still look to push the pedal to the metal? I think that's the real question that needs to be answered.
Yeah, Iceborn Dawn has certainly assumed a different identity than what we're a little used to, but what better way to try it than game one in a best-of-5 series here in the quarterfinals? Pull out a little trickery. We're going to take a very short break as we are in the spectator delay, and when we return, it's going to be Dogu Usun versus Iceborn Dawn, game one of a best-of-5. You're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Otters. We're on Summoner's Rift. Game 1, Dogu Usun versus Iceborn Dawn. Dogu Usun on the blue side, Iceborn Dawn on the red side as Dogu Usun 4-1, the 4 seed coming into the playoffs. Iceborn Dawn just moonwalking into the playoffs after winning in their last week. They're looking to prove that they belong, Shibby. They were fighting with Hypnotic Vice for that last spot, and they had Iceborn Dawn got pretty lucky. They went up against the Untamed Sigma Lords of Destruction, who were 0-4 going into that week, and then finished 0-5, whereas Hypnotic Vice had to take on one of the better teams in the league. So I'm sure there's a little bit of bad blood there, but listen, you can only play who's in front of you.
That's right. And with this passive early game, Yanni, do you know what that means, right? We've got a sponsor read shout out. Special thanks to Coachify.gg, a new platform for esports coaches with 0 commissions. Sign up is free, and anyone can create a public profile. So if you want to get to the higher ranks and compete in BOL Masters, you will go to Coachify.gg.com. And if you want the energy to compete in a 5-game grueling series, or potentially the energy to watch yesterday's games, you are going to go to Glitch Energies. Now, we have an invade coming in on the bot side here. Vertigo is going to go for the red buff of Beak Jungles, and this is going to go unscouted.
Yeah, they had their Glitch Energy. They were ready to go, Shibby. As the Vertigo is just going to get in there, go ahead and take away the red buff. And, you know, that's something that a lot of higher level junglers have started to do and take advantage of, right? You go in, you go, oh, nobody's here. We're just going to slide right in, and we're going to take your buff.
Yeah, at worst case scenario, they trade, buff for buff. They do a little bit of vertical jungling, and then that's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, if you are Vertigo, you can potentially full clear this bot side, take your blue side, and then be up a couple camps here, because it looks like Beak Jungle is going for the full clear right now on his blue side. So he's going to come down here and not realize that everything has been ransacked.
Yeah, even the Krugs are going to get ransacked, but you can see Beak Jungle is heading toward the top side because of that ward they had on the red buff. They know that Vertigo is at least not there for right now. So pretty solid ward is going to yield them getting at least even parity when it comes to the jungle camps. And Shibby, that's very, very important because Vertigo had a chance to get a really, really big lead there.
Yeah, I think it also might have been, unfortunately, the bot lane of Your Mom's OP and Chill Will. I think they kind of went into lane through try rather than going all the way back around. So it might have hinted to Dogu Usun here that, hey, your top side or your bot side here, your red side, it's being taken. Gragas, see if you can get anything on that other side of the map. See if you can get the Raptors, get the Krugs, or even the red buff here, as he is looking to potentially go for a full steal, as wards have been placed on his Raptor camp. So after it's all said and done, the flash body slam comes in, doesn't really get anything. Vertigo's going to come out of this with a 1 camp lead.
Yeah, just short on that one, as you said. And interesting to note is that Min Savage does not have flash this game. So if Beak Jungle was just a little bit closer, that could have been a first blood because of that lack of flash. But that means they will be A-okay, and that means Vertigo knows it is the all clear to go ahead and clear out this bot side. Go ahead and take your Crab. Go ahead and take your Krug, or not your Krug, your Gromp, I should say. As Fui has spotted out the Gragas, but not too much you can do about it right now, Shibby. So these junglers are just going to split the camps evenly, and so far, other than that attempt in the top lane, very little action.
So I lied. I actually thought that Vertigo would come out with the 1 camp lead simply because the Raptors had a delay on the take. Is now bot lane.
Yeah,
getting a little feisty.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage. ACAPS is 1 auto attack away from death. The Ignite is ticking away, but they get the shield, but Vertigo is in position to potentially close out on a kill here. He is dashing forward. He's flashing forward. He hits him with the smoke screen and picks up first blood. They try to dive Quokka and it looks like they will be able to pick up the Lulu. Vertigo will walk up and take it. Vertigo, yeah, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. It ends up being a 2-for-1 overall and 2 kills going over to this young jungler looking to make a name for themselves. It's their first year of competitive play.
I love that coming out from Iceborn Dawn's side, right? They knew the vertical jungle was happening. In this case, Vertigo's bot side is on the strong side, whereas you saw on the other side, Lake Khan and the top side for Dogu Usun were the strong side. So you saw Jung try to make a play in the top side. He flashed body slam, was unable to get the kill on the Min Savage. So that's the go-ahead, right? That's the green light to say, you know what? We can dive this bot lane, or we can get really, really aggressive. And so you saw Chill Will hit the stun, goes flash, autos onto both of them so that he can get the root down, and gets A-Caps and Quokka low enough for Vertigo to come clean up, because he knows that there's no retaliation coming out from B, because now Chill Will and Vertigo buddied up. They're gonna send a squad on Lacan.
Yeah, they're looking to get really aggressive this game, and it's going to be a third kill for Vertigo. It's not called vertical jungling anymore. It's called Vertigo jungling. 3-0, not even 6 minutes into the game, and you can see it looks like he's building toward that Triforce.
And I said Beak Jung, he was the one that had to get stuff started, right? He's the one on the more CC-heavy, gank-style jungler here. But Vertigo, like you said, using that bot lane advantage, using the double kill, roaming with his support in Chill Will. I mean, who does that, right? Nobody. Lacan is not expecting both Vertigo and Nautilus to be here. So he's super pushed up. He doesn't burn the flash, luckily, because he knows he's dead. But I mean, that's just a easy kill for Vertigo here, and very smart play from him. I think the thing that we forgot to mention as well is that for Vertigo, for Graves, every single lane has some sort of CC setup on it, right? Even Swain with his E is a little bit more dicey, but you have Annie stun. You've got Nautilus in the bot lane, right? This Graves is primed to have a really good game as long as the lane situations look right and his team can land the CC. He's primed to get these kills.
Yep, he is going to be enabled this game, and you can already see it is paying off as they've cracked open about a 2,000 gold lead just 7 minutes into the game. And should you have to wonder how different Dogu Usun looks without their eponymous Usun, as they are not going to be playing tonight. Sweefwee found themselves in a little bit of trouble, drops down to Tibbers, and they will go down, but Vertigo in a 2v1 with Tibbers helping them out. It's still like a 2v2. It goes one kill for the Annie, another kill for the Graves, 4-0. Now it's Lacan chasing him down, who is level 6. He's going to flash forward, look to all out him as he's looking to back Vertigo into a corner. Vertigo is going to be able to dash over the wall. Lacan still chasing him down, trying desperately to get there. He's going to make him go nearsighted. Vertigo trying to do what he can, trying to kite over to Min Savage. Look at the sidesteps, look at the moves. Lacan does manage to shut him down, but Vertigo still gets the kill all the same.
With enough time wasted, yeah, the shutdown does go to Lacan, but it's 8 minutes in the game, Yanni. And if you look at Vertigo's inventory, that man's sitting on a mythic. It's Triforce completed for him. He is absolutely Billy Bonkers strong right now.
He's the hero. He is the main character in this game, Shibby. 5-1-1. Look, he's even got his free boots too. He's going to be scooting around this map.
Oh, he is so accelerated into the game. He's level 6. He's walking where he pleases. He's not playing Mundo, he's playing Graves, but he has free reign on this jungle, and Beak Jung has to be worried, right? He cannot farm in peace. He cannot farm safely because the threat of this Graves just walking into your jungle and saying, you know what, this is mine now. I want this camp. I want this camp. It is there. It is very apparent as now a nice little move coming out from Iceborn Dawn. They've moved their bot lane into mid for this Herald play, and this is what we talked about, right? We talked about them having superb objective control, moving their pieces around the map to secure some of these objectives. And as much as we don't see this play at the higher level, this is perfect for a team like this. Accelerate your Graves, get him the Rift Herald, get some more gold into his pocket.
Yeah, this is a team that was not happy with their play after the first 2 weeks of the season. They've worked really, really hard to switch that up, and it has paid off for them in spades, Shibby, because look, you've got such a big lead in the bottom lane that it's okay that you're allowing A-Caps time to farm up and even get a plate if it means getting the Rift Herald, right? This is very, very big stuff coming out here for Iceborn Dawn, and it's crazy to think how different this game could be if Fui died before getting out Tibbers. As you can see, a 1v1 on the top side, Demonic Ascension popped as well as the Ghost. Not quite dealing enough damage quite yet, but certainly sustaining enough that Lacan can't get anything done.
Yeah, I mean, the Swain pick is just a neutralizer, right? It's meant to just say, hey, you'll never have a solid kill opportunity on me, and vice versa. I can probably never kill Cassante here unless he massively misplays it, right? So that ultimate, like you said, the Demonic Ascension, it's just like a trap card, right? A trump card is for him. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to play this. I'm going to do this. Both of us can't do anything, and so let's reset the lane, let's reset the wave state, and we'll go back to farming against each other here. As right now, the Swain does have a small CS lead because of all the shenanigans that happened with Lacan and Vertigo, but because Lakon got that 700 gold, I believe shutdown was on the Vertigo. The gold's relatively, and you'll see both of them probably complete their mythics roughly around the same time. Yeah, as I said, slight lead for Lakon, but regardless, it's a Swain. You're okay going down like 100, 150 gold here because you're eventually going to turn into this monstrous form of a champion where you can just sit in the middle of a team fight and just do damage.
Yeah, and Swain, as we all know, happy to sit in the middle of a team fight. It's hard to get him out, but there are ways to get them out, right? It is Cassante, it is Gragas that can get it done, as you can see.
Vertigo.
So maybe getting pushed out a little bit. ACAPS and Quokka have to know that something weird's going on, but they're just going to clear out some wards, and they have no idea that Vertigo's there. This is the most time Vertigo's spent in one place.
Yeah, he's patiently waiting right now. I would think he's just waiting for them to push up far enough. Flash is available for the Nautilus. Here comes the play.
Yep, they're going to land the hook onto the Lulu, and the Lulu gets blown up immediately. ACAPS will survive without having to burn anything but the ultimate, but they got what they came for as Min Savage once again under siege here in the top side. The Demonic Ascension is popped. Beat Jung is going to land the body slam, pick up the kill, force the teleport out of Fui Fui. So solid cross map play, but the Rift Herald getting dropped in the bot lane is going to be the thing that tilts this play in favor of Iceborn Dawn.
And I love the Rift Herald being dropped as the dragon is being taken. So you have to answer this. You can't just go and say, okay, you know what? It's dragon time. I am fine with it. The Rift Herald has to be answered. Bot lane, potentially, this first turret is going to go down before the 14-minute mark. We talked about Iceborn Dawn's ability to knock these turrets down and have this, and how they have some of the highest turret taking stats in the league, and this is just that ability being shown right now. They've secured themselves a dragon. They've secured themselves bot tier 1 on the bottom side. You look at Kaisa, she's already got that Umbral Glaive going, right? She's already hit that really strong one-item power spike, so now they can move their bot into mid lane, start working the plates down there potentially, and once again, Vertigo, ton of gold in his pocket. He's not too far ahead in regards to the jungle item or the pet advantage, but you just look at the gold. If you tab over, he is miles ahead. He is part of pretty much primarily the gold lead. Him and Kaisa here make up Iceborn Dawn's gold lead.
Yep, and it's exactly who you wanted on champions in the early game that are going to be able to thrive. And with that build coming out from the Kaisa, you can see that early game thriving going on. As you'll see it happen as more and more fights come through. As Muglé 2 levels ahead of Vertigo, but doesn't want any part of that grave. Shibby knows that it's a very scary prospect. As you can see, Kaisa shift over to mid lane here. That's going to unlock Chill Will kills to move around. And yeah, Beakjohn's got nowhere to go, man. Vertigo is just bullying him 1v1, gaining access to this jungle. Nautilus is going to help him out too and secure a lot of big vision.
Yeah, Vertigo came to collect. He said, rent's due, brother. Either you have my payment or I'm going to take it from you right now. Still will. They're going to take more gold.
Even your mom's OP over the wall. They break Jung's kneecaps.
Oh, yeah, they came to collect, like we said. And yeah, Jung just not having the best of times in this jungle. He's so far down. And now Fui Fui is just going to let it drop on the Mulgaze now. Wait a minute.
Oh, Mulgaze misses with the Emperor's Divide. And that means that Fui Fui is going to pick that one up. And fights going on everywhere as Min Savage could be in a little bit of trouble. Listen, Dogu Usun needs a win here, Lacan. You need to be the one to deliver them a victory. But look, Min Savage sustaining and Vertigo's coming up here. This is going to be a total loss across the map, pretty much, as Iceborn Dawn has come out strong here in game 1. And there's fighting in the mid lane too, Shibby ACAPS. Rifling away with those auto attacks on Chill Will kills, but it's not enough right now. You don't have a completed item. There's nothing you can do. Top outer turret going down as well as money spills into the pockets of Iceborn Dawn.
Their pockets are rich. It's falling out like Sonic's coins right now. That's what's happening. You look, the objective bounties have ticked off at the 14-minute mark. The alarms are ringing. The sound of the doom bell has begun. If your Dogu said, how do you recover from this, right? You funnel farm into your Azir? Do you funnel farm into your Xayah? Your 2 late game win conditions? It feels like Iceborn Dawn is not letting up on the gas right now. They are constantly fighting you. They are constantly taking your turrets. They just won't give you time to breathe.
No, they're playing at a breakneck pace right now, and why not? Your jungler is at 2 completed items right now. He's got his Bloodthirster. You're not going to be able to out damage well, you're not going to be able to out-damage the healing at this point in the game, Shibby. You just don't have enough damage on the other side. So you can see Beakjung does have the Night Harvester, right? So this does mean that you're going to have a little bit of burst damage as they're looking to potentially make a play onto the Sandy. Beakjung's going to tank it up first. Everybody's down here. You have to try to do something. Here's Quokkaduck, but, you know, your support is not the one that's going to really be able to help you dive other than some shielding. You're going to clear out the wave. Chill Will Kills is hanging out on the side, but Fui is going to be the one to begin the aggressiveness, trying to clear the wave. Mulgay is very low, but they get everybody on top of the Annie, manage to take him down, but Beakjung dies on the way out to Tibbers. And yes, I have seen your friend Tibbers. And look, the second Rift Herald is going to get placed in the mid lane. They've already taken out one mid turret here. Lacan is here to answer, but that means Mint Savage on the top side is totally fine. Chill Will Kills, canceling some recalls. Second turret has fallen. Lacan is low. Shippy, they're looking to break a middle inhibitor turret at 16 minutes.
Shelly is charging. 3 charges in now. They aren't going to take the inhib. I don't know if that's on a purposeful decision or they just notice that everybody has backed. The game won't end. I was just being a little hysterical there. But a lot of gold has gone into the pockets of Iceborn Dawn here. Mid tier 3 taken down. Top tier 2 is almost taken out as Mint Savage is going to get taken down from Lacan here and the rest of the gang here, but that's a consolation prize. That's pocket change for them. As right now, Dragon is up. It's the Chemtech Dragon as well, Chemtech Soul here, and this game is all Iceborn.
Maybe that's not even a consolation prize. That's one of those crappy prizes you win in like the claw game. You know the claw games where it's like everybody's a winner and like, you know, you're going after the iPod, but you can't get the iPod and they give you, you know, like the little like teddy bear inside the plastic casing or whatever. Like, yeah, that's the prize that you got for taking out Mint Savage. It's a little bit of gold, right? But it's not going to be enough. And it should be 2 dragons on the side of Iceborn Dawn here. They mentioned they want to clean up their early game as Beakjung. You can't even call him Beakjung. There is no Jung for him. He's just Beak at this point because he's lost the entire jungle.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. As like I said, this Gragas, I felt like it was out of place. I thought that he ought to get stuff done earlier. He tried that flash E into the top lane to punishment Savage here. But once he showed there, it felt like a switch flipped in Virgo and the rest of Iceborn Dawn. They got complete control of that bot side. A double kill for him. He came and went into the mid lane, got another kill for himself. Was 3-0. Had Triforce at like the 8-minute mark. I mean, this game was spiraling out of control. And there was nothing that Dogu could do to stem the bleeding, to stifle what was happening. They just kept trying to fight and fight and fight. And that's maybe akin to how they like to play the game. But when the enemy jungle is that far ahead, you've got to be able to take a breath, slow the game down, and make sure that you don't fall into this horrendous goal deficit.
Yeah, it is pretty horrendous. It's getting close to 10K, Shibby, and it's just going to need a little bit more action out of Iceborn Dawn for that to happen. And you know, we talked about it. Usun, the heart of the team, not playing tonight. It's Quokkaduck subbing in for them. If you're missing the heart, well, Iceborn Dawn has taken your soul 18 minutes into this game as Lacan is doing what they can to try to take out Min Savage. Here comes Beak as well, trying to help out, but Min Savage is now ghosted up, and the Demonic Ascension not going to catch anybody, so they try as they might. They burn a flash for a ghost. It's not really worth it.
No, not at all, especially if you're committing multiple people to this kill here. As Vertigo does get spotted out by the Scryer's Bloom, the evolved Scryer's Bloom here. Beakjung, he can't have a single camp to himself. He's just scrounging around for scraps at the moment. This Gragas is going to go on a diet right now. We're going to see him thin up very shortly, dude. This guy's going to be on the Bowflex because he's not getting anything to eat, man.
Yeah, they got him on a steady diet of no jungle camps whatsoever. And the poor man is just dumpster diving, trying to get whatever he can. Maybe, you know, he'll be happy if he gets a minion or two, but honestly, you do have plenty of CC in the kit, right? There are ways that you can cleverly utilize your CC in order to get some kills. The problem is, I just don't know if that's going to happen. And a small reprieve here for the side of Dogu Usun, and I think it's primarily because the Baron has not spawned yet.
Yeah, it's spawned right now, 20 minutes in. We were in the Baron waiting room, and this kind of warps the draft strategy a little bit for Dogu, right? Because they banned 3 junglers, by the way, right? They banned the Viego, they banned the Jarvan, I think they banned the Vi or another jungler here. They banned 3 junglers against Vertigo. And he said, you know what? I've got Graves. I've got this massive carry jungle in my pocket still. So are they going to ban 5 junglers? Are they going to remove the Yone ban? Like, what are they going to do here? Because Vertigo right now just is running this game.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're going to do, and I'm sure that they don't know yet either, because they know that they're not quite out of this game yet, Shibby, as Beakjong has gotten behind enemy lines and is ready to potentially take the Baron, but Vertigo snuffs that one out pretty quickly. He's down to about half HP. Mom's OP and Chill Will Kills taking a lot of damage, but nobody else is really around to help. Beakjong, I admire what you're trying to do, but the Enforcer is just driving him away. I mean, the Baron was always going to be pretty free for Iceborn Dawn.
Yeah, I don't think there was realistically any chance that Dogu had to kind of contest that. It was a miracle steal from Beakjong, and even then, even if you steal that, you just delay the inevitables. Right now, people are going to back here. Fufu, though, that's a lot of damage. I don't know if Mulgay can take this.
Yeah, Mulgay is getting beat up on. Here comes dueling teleports. Hook lands onto ACAPS, but ACAPS is A-okay for right now. Chill Will Kill's getting pretty low, but your mom's OP over the wall. And now on top of Lacan, who's taking a lot of damage from multiple sources. He's going to all out him over the wall. He's going to get the Lulu ultimate, and he's still alive for now. But Beak dropping everything on the Kaisa, unable to kill them, flashing away. And Mulgay is so deep. Everybody is surrounding them. They go down. But Beak lying in wait, but Vertigo snuffs him out once again. Nowhere Beak can go without Vertigo knowing where he's at. He's going to flash over the wall and swag ult him away. A double kill for the Graves. It's a 3-for-0. There's Baroned up super minions pushing down the mid lane. It's only Lacan and Quokka to try and defend the base. Now ACAPS is back up. It should be a 3v3 for right now, but they're going to flash right on top of him and send him right back to the base. He's dead again. Min Savage ascending demonically, just trying to create some space, and they do a hell of a lot of damage. Vertigo has put the team on his shoulders in game 1. 10, 1, and 5 as the Nexus turrets fall, and game 1 goes to Iceborn Dawn.
Iceborn Dawn not playing with their food. They don't want to go any further. They've got dinner bells calling. Their moms calling from upstairs, telling them, you know what, you got to end the best of 5 as fast as possible. 22 minutes and 45 seconds. They end game 1, and that's just how they are, Yanni. That's how they are organized. They are compromised differently. Their average game time is 26 minutes. Once they have the lead, they do not let go.
Jimmy, that was a masterful performance out of Iceborn Dawn. Again, a team that had to clinch the final spot for the playoffs going into the last week of the season. Honestly, I'm very, very impressed by their performance so far. And yeah, it's only been 1 game, but I mean, if I'm Dogu Usun, I have to be a little concerned.
I mean, you come in, right? You have time to prep. You have a week to prep. You have all these VODs to watch, and you look at the team, you say, this is the bands that we're going to roll out. This is the composition that we're going to come in game 1, and you get absolutely smacked in your mouth, slack-jawed, right? The haymaker from Iceborn Dawn completely throws everything off. I mean, what do? Do you just draft the same thing, and you know what, and just say, you throw it and go, well, that was just all of us playing bad? Or do you have to now be weary of Vertigo, right? I said that 3 junglers were banned. It was actually the Xin Zhao, the Viego, and the Jarvan that were banned away from Vertigo here. And so do you throw a Graves ban in there? Do you not try to ban any of these junglers and try to trade OP for OP? It feels like Iceborn, they have all the chips right now, and Dogu, they're playing with lemons.
They're playing with lemons because that game was sure sour, Shibby. Not sure what they're going to bring to the table in the next game, but a Graves ban could certainly be in the cards. We're going to take a very short break as the teams are going to reconvene, and when we return, we'll give you the draft for game 2 between Dogu Usun and Iceborn Dawn. back, Otters. Very short break on that one as we've returned. Game 2 of this best of 5 between Dogu, Usun, and Iceborn Dawn. Yanni and Shibby still on the call for you. And Shibby, we talked about how good Vertigo was in that first game, man. He was everything. He was the alpha. He was the omega. He was the carry that led them to victory.
Yeah, and we're going to go into draft here. It was just complete and utter domination, right? They did the vertical jungle. They played towards their bot side. They set up the dive. He picks up a double, and then it's kind of lights out from there, right? As he kind of runs over the rest of the map here. So Iceborn Dawn and Dogu Usun, they have swapped sides here. Blue side for Iceborn Dawn, Dogu Usun on the red side here. As if I'm Iceborn Dawn, I probably don't need to switch my bans up too much, right? Ban the Akali, ban the Udyr, take what you thought, is good for Dogu, force them to play something else, and then make them beat you on it before you start banning other things out. As now the Xayah and Rakan both get removed here, as Iceborn Dawn will happily lock in the B1 Kai'Sa again.
I'm a little surprised that Dogu Usun elected to ban the way they did, right? Because, if they take Xayah, you at least get Kai'Sa, right? And then you could, potentially take away the Rakan, but instead they're going to ban both sides of the Lovers duo when they have, R1 and R2, but they will blind Renekton here, and they will lock in the Tristana. So this is going to be a pretty big development here. As Mughal, it's not something that they have played a whole lot, but I am interested to see if they're going to be able to make a play on it, or if it's going to go into the bot lane even.
Yeah, can still be flexed here if the conditions are right, although Tristana solo lane is just superior in so many regards. And Iceborn Dawn, it looks like they were watching yesterday's series as the Garen gets locked in, and another unique champion being piloted by Iceborn Dawn's top laner here. He's just trying to go through every single one. He's got the bingo card ready, as now the Lilia gets locked in as well. So this kind of indicates to me that they may want to go for an AD mid laner here, as the Kai'Sa obviously is going to go into the bot side, Garen going to go in the top. Iceborn Dawn have drafted themselves a very quick composition, a very shrewd and fast comp with the Garen, with the Lilia, with the Kai'Sa. In a moment's notice, they can jump onto you and burst you out.
And not only that, a very different composition, right? We're just seeing a totally different top laner and a totally different jungler here. Graves was open, by the way, so Vertigo just does not care. He's like, yeah, whatever, I had a good game on it. Yeah, whatever. What, you think these junglers are out here playing, Jarvan? You think these junglers are out here playing for the team, Shibby? Hell no, these junglers are playing to kill people. You saw them with the champions they picked in game 1, and in game 2, it's looking to be quite the same. We are going to see an Alistar get picked up for Dogu Usun. This leads me to believe that this Tristana might be going bot lane.
Yeah, could still be going to that bot side, as Dogu Usun are going to lock in the Yone ban. So they're not entirely convinced that this Garen is going top lane, or maybe they're afraid that Iceborn Dawn's mid here can also pilot the Yone. So they're going to take that completely off the table, as now Iceborn Dawn, they just need to ban out junglers, in my opinion. Take the Jarvan away. Take the Viego or the Xin away, right? Give this Lilia room to breathe. Because if Jarvan does get locked in, Jarvan can Cataclysm, stop Lilia in her tracks, and kind of force her to, flash out if she wants to do anything here. I wouldn't say it's a hard counter. It's more of a pseudo soft counter, as Azir does get taken away. Mid lane bans being propped up as well. As Iceborn Dawn, their strategy right now is to pinch the solo laners, right? To force them onto things that are uncomfortable, because they know, if you've watched the tape, if you look at the stats, if you look at how Dogu's team functions, it's through AD carry. So if you make these solo laners uncomfortable, if you put them on stuff that they may not have a good time on, that's not stable, you can just blow the game out of the water there, right? Because Iceborn Dawn's bot lane can go mano-a-mano with Dogu's.
And one thing to note is that if you're picking them in AD carry and Tristana's mid, where's your magic damage coming from if you're Dogu Usun? That is something that you are going to have to worry about. You might only be able to index it into the bot, into your support roles. That's why Iceborn Dawn took out the Ziggs. They're not quite sure where this Tristana is going just yet.
Smart ban.
So yeah, it's really, really wise. Shibby, what do you think these compositions still need in order to really flesh them out?
Like you mentioned, Dogu does need that magic damage here, and we have seen a lot of teams, at least early in the LCS, right? Playoffs, we saw them run these kind of full AD, solo Maokai, AP kind of builds, right? Where the Maokai will go Liandry's and Demonics to kind of fill the void a little bit for the lack of magic damage, or sometimes they'll even just go Demonic into straight tank here. Don't love it, but it is work. It does work, and it's still pretty damn good here. As Iceborn Dawn, though, are hovering that Braum for themselves here. Nice bit of disengage, right? Peel for the Kaisa, especially into things like the Renekton, like the Alistar, like the Maokai. Having triple melee into Braum seems kind of rough.
Yeah, that is going to be a big deal. And we're going to see an Anivia hover come out here. I mean, I did think that Iceborn Dawn needed to bring some CC, and they're going to bring some themed CC if they do lock in this Anivia. They've already brought the ice with the Braum, but it does look like they're not going to go the way of the Anivia. They are going to lock in the Syndra, which, while not exactly on theme, does provide a fair amount of CC.
Yeah, pretty safe mid lane pick here is now. With this confirmation of the Samira, the Tristana does go into the mid lane, and she relatively has a good time against these kind of immobile mages, right? You kind of have to skill check against Iceborn Dawn's mid lane here. Can the Syndra land the stun? Can you buffer the W for the stun, right? How mind games can you play with the explosive charge and so on and so forth? So Sean's going to the mid. It's Samira, Alistar, bot lane, a very classic bot lane in my opinion. They have really good synergy, right? The WQ into the knockup. I mean, you can just keep that guy in the bounce house forever. Samira obviously loves to play with these hard engaged melee supports, as well as you've got support on the side of the Maokai and the Renekton if you don't have Alistar with you, if you are going for a skirmish potentially. Here's magic damage lacking, like you said, but we have seen these kinds of compositions before where the Maokai becomes the sole source of magic damage here, and it's more than enough, especially if you are on the side of Dogu Usun, who's just looking to burst somebody out, right? They're looking to find an individual on Iceborn Dawn's side and completely blow them up right even before an objective starts or potentially Baron or anything like that.
Yeah, here's hoping that that Beak Jung is not going to go full AP like they did last game, this time with the Maokai. You're going to need at least a little bit of tankiness here, but the team is a little hard to cut through, right, with the Alistar, with the Renekton. So I am interested to see how that's going to shake out for the side of Dogu Usun. That being said, Shibby, one thing about the Samira pick I don't like, Samira loves being in the middle of things, right? And you know how impactful her ultimate is. Garen has a very easy time silencing her ultimate.
Garen has an easy time. Braum can throw the R button down, right? Lilia can sleep. Like, there are a lot of different ways to CC the Samira, but saying to CC the Samira, it's a lot easier said than done, right? Like, it's easy to say, oh, just CC the Samira, right, when she starts ulting. Rarely do you have all your cooldowns. Rarely are you keeping track of your own cooldowns to kind of understand when and where we're going to use this, right? So they have multiple forms, like you said. We saw Garen absolutely tear through 80 carries yesterday. I mean, this guy was just like ripping through Kallistas and the sort, just absolutely mauling them to death. He's a very simple champion, very, very high, very, high damage depending on how you build him. If you go for that stride breaker build, we could see a hole breaker build coming out from him. He just wants to split push away. I feel like this Tristan Samira are going to have a really rough time into the Garen, and Lilia putting everybody to sleep, especially what is essentially, I'm going to say, quadruple melee, right? Like, Samira is a hybrid melee range champion. And so if you're going triple 3.5 melee into Lilia, she's more than happy to have you in range. She's going to Q, she's going to sleep you, and then you're dead to rights because the Kaisa and Syndra are going to burst you down. Once again, I'm really liking Iceborn Dawn's composition, and if they play even half the level that they did last game, they will come out with the win.
That's pretty good analysis there, Shibby. So tell me, what does Dogu Usun need to do in order to win this game?
Dive, right? Facilitate dives with your Maokai, with your Renekton, right? Even your Alistar. Like, you've got so many different ways to juggle aggro. You've got tons of burst on your side as well, right? Tristana explosive charge. You've got Renekton full combo, right? You've also got Maokai to juggle the turret aggro with his twisted advance, with his Q. You've got so many different tools here that you need to find a lane or find opportunities where you can set up 2v1 or 3v1 dives and start executing. Don't be afraid with this composition, right? Don't play timid or you will just lose out completely.
Well, they've got two main divers in Tristana, Samira, and a bunch of dive buddies around them. So Dogu Usun, a very aggressive look composition into the Iceborn Dawn composition, the team that always likes to punish teams over aggression. We'll see if they're able to do so here in game 2. That means we're in the spectator delay, and when we return, the Game 2 match, Iceborn Dawn looking to put themselves on match point, Dogu Usun looking to tie it up. Game 2, best of 3 series, Iceborn Dawn, Dogu Usun, Iceborn Dawn won Game 1. They are going to be here, Game 2, looking to take a dub. Shibby, we talked about how different these compositions are, and we talked about how good Vertigo was in the early game. Are you expecting the same this time around?
I mean, right now, no shenanigans are happening as the 5-point defense comes out, and I don't know if I'm expecting the same simply because Vertigo doesn't seem like he really wants to aggress right now. Lilia super fast clear, by the way, and into these tank junglers has been kind of like a soft counter, right? Because she can rotate her camps really fast and potentially go and look to invade, right, on the second rotation or second camp rotation, right? Things like the Raptors, like the Krug, so on and so forth. She gets a lot of priority and she can really start wreaking havoc. So ideally, Beak Jung Pat's opposite of Vertigo, right? So they don't ever meet, and he can kind of just impact the map with his early CC, right? Flash Twisted Advance, Flash Q, right? Because Vertigo still needs time before she can really impact the map on this Lilia. With her ultimate, she's more of a farm jungler. She's more opportunistic in that sense, where if a bot lane is low or a mid lane is low, then she can kind of come in and provide that damage. But it's not until around the 6 to 7 minute mark where she gets that CC, so we get that sleep, and that's when her ganks really start to matter here. I need Beak Jung to impact the map early, just like I wanted him to do last game, but unfortunately he couldn't, live up to those expectations.
And a champion that can still get the job done. We all know how strong the Twisted Advance combo with that Q can be, knocking them a little bit closer to your laner to go and pick up a kill. With laners like this, if you're not going to get a kill with these laners, I don't think you're going to get a kill with any of these players at this, at an early juncture, right? Because this screams, gank us, we will get kills.
Yeah, you have Renekton, you've got Tristana, you've got Samira, Alistar, like every lane is there. You just need to provide the CC, the setup, which is what Maokai does perfectly. And right now, we see a full clear coming out from both of these guys, and as we mentioned, Lilia just a little bit faster, right? I mean, you already look at her. She's cleared her bot side. She's already on her blue, while Maokai is just now reaching their wolves here. So, Vertigo, really, really good jungle clears. I've been very impressed at the speed of which he clears, and that's not something you typically get to see and how good they are at microing and how fast they are at clearing. But those seconds, right? Those 3, 4, 5 seconds can make all the differences. Right now, Lakon, with the jungle pressure, is just going to spot out Vertigo and say, hey, team, this is where Lilia is. She's on her top side.
Yeah, you saw Mulgay a couple seconds ago head over to the bot side jungle, check out the chickens, knew that they weren't there, missing pinged it, and immediately Lacan, using his lead, taking some time heading down there, spotting out Vertigo, looking for at least maybe an opportunity if Vertigo was a little lower. I like that sort of play coming out of Dogu Usun, especially with how rough game one was. So at least they're looking for opportunities, and they're remaining aggressive despite how badly they lost the first game, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think one thing to note is that the Lilia opted in for Green Smite here, right? The tenacity, just valuing that so much more because of things like the Renekton, like the Maokai, like the Alistar potentially here, right? Just trying to reduce some of it, the root, and stuff like that. Instead, we typically see the Lilias go for the Blue Smite so they can just kind of zip through the jungle at mock break speeds pretty much, right? Once it comes to the later game because of how her passive works and how her healing works here. But so far, both junglers are just farming, are just clearing camps, and that's going to give the advantage to Vertigo because he's completely fine farming it out against a Maokai. The Maokai is the one that has to get the CC going, that has to get the ganks going. If Lilia goes undisturbed, cycling her camps consistently, she's going to get to that point where they just win every 2v2.
Hey, now, they haven't been just farming. They were mean mugging each other a couple moments ago. They saw each other, like, we know you're here. We're going to see a nice flash knock up there, but Joel Kills is going to flash and be able to get away. So, creative look there from Quokka Duck, but it ends up being a flash for flash.
Yeah, they tried to set up something for this Maokai here. I think, unfortunately, Alistar ended up Wing a minion. Chillwell was able to flash right out of there, so a flash for flash. Even trade so far, and Lacan is having a fine time in this top lane.
No!
He flashes. Gets hit with the bowling ball!
He flashed into the bowling ball, and Lacan, it's so close to falling. The flash from Vertigo, and it will be first blood going over to Vertigo. What a surprise, Shibby. Vertigo getting another kill.
And I said that Lilia wasn't a jungler that could really make things happen in the early game. She's an opportunistic jungler. She's someone that likes to find lanes that are low and maybe pick up a kill here and there. And Vertigo, with a well-placed bowling ball and a little bit of luck, Lacan runs into it, gets slowed, and
he flashed into it. He flashed into it.
He flashed into it, and Vertigo ends up picking up the kill. That's a really nice first blood gold going over to the Lilia. It's going to amplify her a little bit farther. Interesting to see if she'll pick up the Dark Seal here, or if she's just going to rush that Demonic potentially, or even go Boots Rush here, just because all of those options are very, very good.
Yeah, Lacan has to be on tilt after that one, to be quite honest with you. Like that's a feels bad moment right there, giving the kill over to Vertigo. Now, Dragon does go over to the side of Dogu Usun, so all is not lost there, and it is Hextech Drake, and as we all know, Hextech Drake giving you quite a bit of value in terms of attack speed, ability haste. It's a dragon that everybody is happy to have.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a comfort thing, right? It's kind of like Ocean Drake, where you heal a little bit, you increase some of your mana, as the Ocean Dragon is going to be the one to spawn next here as Beak Jungle. He's going to take this Scuttle right now, and I don't know, man. I just feel like these junglers aren't it for him. Like, I want him to do something. I want him to gank. I want him to, like, force things with Flash Twisted Advance, but he's just content on full clearing, which is like, go pick Kindred, right? Pick a different kind of jungler if you want to do that.
Yeah, pick a jungler that you're going to get a lot of value out of for it, but Beak Jung, Maokai is not the one. Now, obviously, when Maokai hits level 6, sure, you're going to, like, it's not to say, like, oh, just farming on Maokai, you're not going to do anything. Like, no. You're going to level 6, you're going to be really impactful. Those ultimates are going to be really, really clutch. The problem is just after the way game 1 went, I just want to see him, do something, man. Just go out there, try to make a play.
Yeah, especially like you said, with champions like Tristana and Renekton as your solo laners, as your side lanes, set up dives, right? Like, don't be afraid to get really, really messy. Don't be afraid to get a little bit more aggressive here, because like Syndra, Kai'Sa, Lilia, these guys are going to outscale you. Yeah, you've got the Trist, don't get me wrong, but Syndra, Lilia are just going to hard outscale you come 25, 30 minutes into the game. And it doesn't matter if you're Tristana. If you get hit by 1 Q, by 1 stun from the Syndra and get ulted, you're going to be dead to rights, and that's done.
As you can see, ACAP's down here hitting level 6, so could potentially see some Inferno triggers get dropped down. It's just a little bit of fighting in the top lane, but there's not really anything that Lacan can do. Although Vertigo has shown up on the bottom side, and Quokka said, don't worry, ACAPs, I got you. He steps in the way of the Braum Q, and it's another kill going over to the side of Iceborn Dawn. This one goes over to your mom's OP, and once again, they're going to try to trade a kill for an objective here. So, Dogu Usun, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, they're going to get a lot of local gold coming out from this Herald, and obviously the turret plate gold is going to even out the kill gold here. But another crucial kill, like you said, going on to the right members. Lilia gets one, your mom's OP gets another, as get the Herald here, as there was some potential contesting coming out from Chill Will and the rest of the gang, but instead they slip out, they get the Herald, and like you said, kill for objective. Not the best of trades, but that's all you can really do.
Yeah, it's not bad per se, right? You could, depending on the scenario, the Rift Herald could be more valuable, as we're going to see a 1v1 come out here. Min Savage, he's got that ultimate available, really, really close to just dropping it on the Croc's head, as Lacan has to start getting worried in this matchup.
You have to think if a couple more ticks of that E landed, he would have just dropped the bow on him. Like immediately the sword would have
and
came
then do
down
the
from
monkey
heaven.
on him.
Yeah, he was going to do the monkey. As your mom's OP, he's going to face check this. I don't know if you want this fight, though.
Yeah, look at the damage they do to Quokka. He's got his ultimate popped, but he still takes a whole lot of damage because of the Kai'Sa passive. Chill Will kills not quite landing the Q there, so overall things looking pretty good for them, as Vertigo bringing more pressure up to the top side. We're going to see Beak Jung in the bottom side here, but it looks like they saw him, they spotted him out. He's not able to do anything once again. Not really able to make an impact for his laners. He used his ultimate, but nothing happened.
Yeah, it was a swing and a miss, per se, as the pause does come out for this game here, as we are going through some technical difficulties. We've had 10 minutes now into the game, and so far, Dogu Usun have been on the back foot here. Iceborn Dawn have been the more proactive team. Specifically, with this Lilia, with this bottom lane, when you expect a champion like Maokai, when you expect the team on the side of Dogu here, with the Renekton, with the Tristana, to get things shaking early. Instead, they are content on farming it up and just playing the waves out. It feels like they don't realize the champions they are piloting.
Nah, I don't know, man. It's just they're not playing to the team's win conditions right now. You already mentioned it. They get outscaled. Things are not looking so hot. And I mean, Iceborn Dawn, they've iced out Dogu Usun, but I'm not sure if they're the ones who have done it. I think Dogu Usun have put themselves in the freezer.
Yeah, and recovering, like you said, from a game like that, the mental, right, that it happens when you lose so difficult. Like, you kind of get into this state of like, well, do I want to try and be more aggressive? You don't want to really throw the game away again like that. You don't want to go down 5,000-6,000 gold leaders. We do get out of the pause here as it seems like everything is set. And as I say that, we do have that kind of pause that happens after you get a pause in the game. You got to work through it, but it seems like things are looking a little better for the game. It's not as dire of a situation for Dogu at the moment. They're only down about 1,000 gold at the 10-minute mark. That's more than good for this team.
Yeah, it's totally manageable, especially compared to what you saw last time around. Obviously, Vertigo is still 1-0-1 is, that little bit of extra gold going to help them finish their first item. You do need to worry, right? Because it's going to get really, really strong and get really unmanageable once again, unless you really start making plays happen if you're Dogu Usun, right? Like, start getting kills, start getting your team ahead, start putting their laners behind, because you had a lead up in top lane, and Mint Savage is kind of closing the gap a little bit and is at least able to fight Lacan, right? And in the mid lane, you're up CS, and in the bot lane, I mean, I don't know if it's the support changeup or what, but this has not been the matchup that I expected. I expected ACAPS and Your Mom's OP to go back and forth and really give each other good games, and right now it's just Your Mom's OP has been the stronger bot lane.
Yeah, I don't think it's any mystery that Iceborn's bot lane has been better, especially with Dogu playing with a reserve support or an emergency support here. As the Rift Herald does get dropped into the mid lane with the Tristana, as she's going to pick up 3 turret plates here, and she's going to get that final turret plate completely for herself. So a lot of gold injected into the mid lane here, and the gold lead has quickly dissipated. Now it's only a 600 gold lead. Now potentially a fight breaks out.
Yep, and that's a great Maokai ultimate. This could be the chance. Mulgay wants to get in, but here come dueling teleports from the top laners. But Lacan is on the wrong side of the tracks. He's going to have to slice over the wall, but he's got nowhere to dice to. Chill Will kills, trying to get closer. He gets the exhaust down. He takes a lot of damage, but Quokka Duck trying to run. Oh, man, Vertigo takes it away, and now a chance to turn it all around. Big triple knockup, but Alistar's going to fall.
My!
Scatter the weak. Syndra has deemed them weak, and they will fall. Huge play coming out from Iceborn Dawn. They take the dragon. They take the fight.
They take the dragon. They take the kills. They take the gold. They take everything. Absolutely steal everything from the pockets of Dogu Usun here. And it was a good fight. It was looking pretty decent once that Maokai ultimate came out. But Lacan with the lone teleport over the walls to pop the dominus gets bursted out to 20% HP. And Fui just came up big. A 3-man scatter the weak to set his team up for success here. All 3 members that were stunned went down, and I said the gold lead wasn't that bad. It was manageable. Now it's 3,000 firm in the pockets of Iceborn Dawn.
Yeah, and if you take that dragon, you at least get to say, all right, guys, we got 2 drakes, but losing out on that one, it's more so the mental damage than anything else now, as Your Mom's OP 3-0-1, going for the more traditional Kai'Sa build here, right? Has that Kraken Slayer available. We're starting to see completed items come out from multiple members. Vertigo has finished the Demonic Embrace, another Kraken Slayer on the side of Mulgay, so there is potential for this Tristana to still pop off. But Shibi, you are absolutely right. They have to feel so downtrodden right now, as Beekjung does not go on to Fui because Vertigo's here. Scatter of the Weak lands on the Mulgay, and now they have to get out. So a play that started out aggressive there for the Tristana, the passiveness of Beekjung, they didn't want to go for the kill.
Yeah, they were hex flashing over the wall, and they saw 2 members. I believe Chill Will was there. As now Quokka Duck is caught out in the river. He's going to flash.
He's going to flash, but he's going to get stunned. He's still taking a lot of damage. Chill Will kills is on top of him. The bowling ball gets blocked, but Chill Will kills He does kill, indeed. Gets one on the Alistar.
Yeah, picks it up with the ultimate, slams the door down here. Glacial Fissure comes out. It's more than enough to pick up the kill as Quokka burns everything. The flash, the ulti still isn't able to get out here. And that's just another kill going into the pockets of Iceborn Dawn. And this is when the strangulation begins, right? This is the boa constrictor that is Iceborn Dawn here. They get this lead and they just don't let up. They don't give you any opportunities to get back into the game. They don't let you take a tower. They don't let you pick up kills for free. Instead, they start controlling the vision. They start suffocating you out, and you slowly but surely will lose all of your turrets, all of your inhibs, and then by the time you notice you're down 10,000 gold lead here, this is where it begins, and I think this game's going to end up very similar to game one if Iceborn plays it out the way they've always done.
It's trending that way, Shibby, and something that you could see in that dragon fight is this Dogu Usun composition is just not being played the way that you would traditionally see it, right? Like, ACAPs couldn't get into the middle of the fight or anything like that. They're just what the heck is going on? What am I looking at? Vertigo's jungle pet has gone rogue.
Wait, so I can explain the interaction.
Real quick, hold on. Let's see if they end up securing the Rift Herald, because the last objective was not secured. This one will indeed go over to the side of Dogu Usun. Okay, tell me what happened there, Shibby.
Oh, I can actually explain the interaction. So the jungle pet of Vertigo, right? So what happens is if you do any damage to a jungle camp, obviously your pet is going to go and attack the monster that you have damage on.
Right.
Because Vertigo has a dot on pretty much all of their abilities, Lilia threw the bowling ball at the Herald, the bowling ball in the passive doing damage as a dot, causing the jungle pet to go and do damage to the monster. It doesn't take pathing. It'll just fly to the monster however far it is. So that's why you saw it going back and forth, because the dot was on the other side of the map and Vertigo was on the other side. So that's what you saw there. It was just flying back and forth between both the jungler and the jungle camp that they damaged. That was pretty much, across the map here. So it was just flying back and forth. I love when it happens. It's so hilarious, but it is really very, it's so weird.
It was really funny to watch. Thank you for the explanation there, Shibby, for the uninformed and not jungle players. During that time, we did see trading towers get taken. So the first tower actually went over to Dogu Usun, but Fui was able to pick up the one in the bottom lane as well. So that means the gold still tilted in the favor of Iceborn Dawn, and still no kills for Dogu Usun as Beak Jung has to flash away, just not where he is allowed to be right now. And right as this dragon spawns, no flash for your jungler, also on low HP. Looks like it could be going to the side of Iceborn Dawn.
Iceborn Dawn here. They have the ability to control these objectives. They're so far ahead, and although it is a Cloud Dragon, it is Cloud Soul, and Mugle's on a ward here. He's gonna have to hop, skip, jump out of there right now. The Cloud Soul or Cloud Dragon is gonna be taken here. They're gonna start stacking their way towards that Cloud Soul. It's gonna be very good for this team, right? Garen, Lilia, Kaisa. I mean, you love Cloud Dragon. You love Cloud Soul specifically. Now, never mind.
Beak takes it away. I like the aggressiveness, but now they're all chasing down Mulgay on the backside of the fight. Big double knockup. ACAPs could cook if they want to. Lacan teleports in and immediately gets out, but the big knockup is there. Lacan has a chance to get over the wall and deal a ton of damage. His support goes down. He's going drowsy. He sleep. The man sleep, and he's dead. A double kill for the Lilia as ACAPs just not able to make anything happen. The Inferno trigger is popped, but the damage ain't enough as Vertigo will just barely get out of there. Mulgay has to go and hop over the wall. It is more kills going over to Iceborn Dawn. They are still deathless, Shibby.
You get the dragon, but at what cost? You pay in blood as, Mid Savage goes down, underestimates the Tristana burst here, and a slight prize for you guys as Mulgay does get the kill here. Another consolation for themselves, but 10-1. Yeah, another caster curse as the gold lead does get cut down. A big kill for Mulgay cuts the gold down to about 5,000 here. I mean, but just
Mulgay hits
so
a big three
numbers
to cut the deficit to 42.
Yep, there you go. As Beak Chung, I'm okay with him flashing in and going for the steal. The rest of the team should be long gone. right? Like, you lose Maokai, you trade the dragon, that's fine. You can't lose 4 members and throw the game for it on a Cloud Dragon? A Cloud Dragon?
Yeah, the problem is they were so split that fight too, because immediately what happened is like, okay, well, we lost the dragon. Let's go kill the Maokai and the Tristana, because where's Alistar and Samira? They're all the way on the other side of the fight. They're not going to be able to wade their way through everybody on the side of Iceborn Dawn. So I think Beak Jung took that steal of the last dragon personally and may have led his team to financial ruin for it, as Vertigo was like, okay, you got one. I'm going to try to take you down here, as Vertigo may have gone a little too deep. Is going to flash into the root, but Fui is there to get him out. And Lilia just so fast and just a little too slippery.
A little too slippery, like you mentioned. Also had the backing of Fui here with the Scout of the Week. So, I mean, even if you want to fight that, it's really, really scary. Now, the top tier 1 turret in the top lane is going to go down here. And turrets being taken down, gold being collected in the pockets. I think it's just a standard Iceborn Dawn game, as they aren't letting up on the lead. The gold lead has only grown as your mom's OP. They're looking for a fight.
Oh, they're going to find the fight. Multiple knockups, and now some members are going drowsy. Are they going to go for the beef? And it looks like they will. Quokka is the one who's targeted. And Vertigo, a 4th kill in their ledger. Mulgay, however, looking to chase down onto Fui, and Fui gets cut off, and it's a kill for ACAPS. So ACAPS gets at least something here. It is a 4v4. Looks like the red buff going to be taken away. Lacan has that dominance popped. He wants to get in there. He's going to walk all the way forward. He slices out, but can he dice? The stuns are out, and he's dead. But ACAPS the Inferno trigger. They stun him, and they pass the judgment on him, and he goes down. Mint Savage, that Garen, we said he was going to be a big problem, and has been a big problem for this Samira. It's more kills for Iceborn Dawn. 13-3 right now, as their gold lead up near 6,000. They're just a little bit better tonight, Shibby.
Yeah, 20 minutes in as well. The Baron has spawned. You have to believe that these guys are going to reset. They're going to cash the gold in their pockets, and they're going to turn their eyes towards the big purple worm, as they're going to get coated in purple pretty soon here. All they need to do is go back, start the objective. They can start and stop it, and just force and bait this team into a fight. And if they do, they're going to slap them with the wallets.
They are they're gonna pull out that really thick wallet, you know, and they're just gonna smack him straight across the face. Money's gonna fly everywhere, and it's gonna leave a mark. But I will say, if you're Vertigo, you go for a Baron. I mean, they did well last time to ensure that Beak Jung was nowhere close, and when he was close, they drove him away. But after losing out on an objective earlier, you gotta be a little careful. You know, maybe the next Baron that you try to take, if you let Beak Jung find a way in, will be able to steal it away. But that is a little in the future here, as Dragon's up in about 30 seconds.
Vertigo just prancing around, and the ultimate gets committed from the Maokai. But yeah, I mean, what are you looking to get there? You can't really look for a fight, as this team is just so fast. And Chill Will is because they eat the Maokai ultimate. Now the re-engage potentially coming out from Iceborn.
Oh yeah, Vertigo went super deep for that one, is marked up with the bomb, but Beak Jung on the other side, huge triple knock up there from Quokka, but Beak Jung is going to fall the same.
Not enough.
Dominus Popeye Renekton, but he's stun locked. He's standing still in the same spot. They caught him in a Genjutsu, Shibby, and it's 2 quick kills.
Yeah, he was absolutely stunned, could not move at all, like you mentioned. And with those 2 kills onto the Renekton, onto the jungler specifically, the Maokai, they turn their eyes towards Baron, and this is gonna be free for them.
Yep, it's gonna be Fui, baby, because there's no way that anybody's gonna be able to take this one away, and they're gonna take the dragon as well. They put Vertigo down on the dragon. They said, yo, listen, we don't need you here, Vertigo. It's A-okay, although Mulgay, maybe Vertigo needed some help here. He's gone drowsy. He did jump away. He buffered it properly, but the dragon still goes over to Iceborn Dawn for the teleport coming in. And Mint Savage, he's minty fresh as the stun lands onto Lacan, and he goes down once again. The Croc has been blocked. 0-5-1.
Minty fresh, icy cold veins in him right now, as he's got the hole breaker. He TPs in with half health and does not care. Bursts out the Tristana. They get the Baron, they get the Dragon, they get a kill to boot as well, and they're gonna pick up these outer turrets pretty damn soon.
Yeah, this gold lead is gonna swell big time, Shibby. look at Scrooge McDuck over here, as ACAPS is taking a heck of a lot of damage and has to back away. And it's just been one of those games for the side of Dogu Usun. The carries are unable to do anything. They were just so stationary. They were asleep at the wheel at the early game. Lilia wasn't even level 6 and they had to use the Lilia ultimate on them. There was nothing that they could do. And this inhibitor will fall now. Middle inhibitor going down. The pressure put up by Mint Savage on the bottom side as well, taking the mid inner turret. And it's only a matter of time before we're looking at game 3.
Yeah, middle lane inhibitor gets taken out. Gold in their pockets. They're going to reset, pick up their third item potentially, or at least the components for it. A lot of these guys are going to be finishing up some super, strong power spikes here, as if they aren't already super far ahead, right? The gold lead, 10,000, nearly 11 now on the side of Iceborn Dawn here. The objective bounties have ticked over, and if you look on the side of Dogu Usun, what do you have at the end of it all? You pick this early game burst composition, right? You pick this Renekton, you pick this Alistar, this Samira, and you just have like so much deaths. That's all you have, right? You have nothing else there. 0-5 in the top lane, 0-5 in the bottom lane here, 1-3 for the Samira. You haven't been able to execute, and I think it's been because of just their absolute reluctance to dive, their reluctance to get aggressive. I don't know if game 1 just shook their mental completely, but this is not the kind of comp you draft if you're going to do nothing.
Yeah, and this is not the kind of team we expected. It feels like they've both reversed their roles because Iceborn Dawn, the team that is typically a bit more meticulous, they have been the ones that have been far more aggressive. And then with their leads, you can see they're just closing the game out. They're playing the game very well. Look at the way they're stretching the map. Mint Savage in the top side, uncontested.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a Hullbreaker, and he's just going to knock this turret down in a handful of swings, and there's nothing that, Dogu can do. They've got to try to force maybe a 4v5 at best, but now the fight breaks out in their home base.
Yeah, Vertigo is the one who forced it. He's gone. Golden the Inferno Trigger's not hitting anybody, Shibby. Your mom's OP is on a rampage, and it's now a 4v4 down from
Garen's
a 4v5. But look at what Garen's doing. Garen, knock, open up. He's busting down the turrets. The first one falls, and the rest of the squad of Dogu Usun getting corralled, but they're going to go in. They want to go down with at least a fight, but Garen passes his judgment, and down you go. Renekton, the last one to watch the base in ruins. Everything is on fire for Dogu Usun as Iceborn Dawn a commanding 2-0 series lead.
They wanted to go out with a fight, but they left with a whimper as both games. First one ended in 22 minutes and 45 seconds. The other one, the second one, 26 minutes and 26 seconds. These guys are speed running the best of 5 right now. The dinner bell is calling. Their parents are knocking. They're saying, open up. We got to go. We got to go right now. And Dogu Usun are on the receiving end of that absolute beatdown.
Yeah, call it what you will. The street lights popping on at 7 p.m. and you're getting called to run home and you want to fit in the last game. Or Sunday morning, you got somewhere to be. You're woken out of a stupor. Iceborn Dawn, you got to get everything on. Get your shoes, get your clothes on, take a shower. Not in that order, but, they're getting the job done. They are, as you said, absolutely speedrunning things. And my question is, Shibby, are they going to do it again? Is Dogu Usun going to allow Iceborn Dawn to walk all over them like they did in the first 2 games? Or Dogu Usun actually going to be proactive in games 3 and hopefully 4 and maybe even 5?
Seems like Dogu Usun is all bark, no bite right now. They show a lot of what they can do, right? They have this Renekton, they have this Shana, they pick these champions, but when push comes to shove, when it comes time to execute, they're just not on the same page. They're just not playing to what their champion's strengths are. It feels like Dogu is turned upside down, and Iceborn Dawn here, they're drafting a little for fun here. A Garen in the top lane? That's Mint Savage's first Garen game. Vertigo Lilia, I don't think he's played it once this season. Like, these guys are just freestyling right now because they're feeling themselves, and it's working.
As you would say, Shibby, they're in their bag like the fries are at the bottom right now because they are picking anything and everything. We'll see if Dogu Usun has an answer, if Iceborn Dawn is going to get a pretty quick 3-0. We're going to take a very short break as the teams are going to get together for what could be the final draft of the night. Iceborn Dawn looking for that clean 3-0. Dogu Usun trying to never say die. back, Otters. What could be the final draft of the night? Iceborn Dawn versus Dogu Usun. The teams still on the same sides as game 2. That's Iceborn Dawn on the blue side, Dogu Usun on the red side. And the bands should be looking eerily similar so far. Do you think Dogu Usun needs to change it up?
It's not a champion issue, right? It's not. You don't look at the games and go, we picked the wrong champions. You look at yourselves. You look within, and you say, you know what? How are we playing? Like, what do we want to do? How do we want to play the game? Because that's where it is. It's fundamentally, it's down to the core of Dogu Usun, right? They're just not playing good League of Legends. Just flat out, they got crushed in game 1. They got crushed in game 2, quite frankly, 22 and 26 minutes respectively. And they are just getting out-drafted, out-skilled, out-hands. Like, Iceborn Dawn is running the show. And I think Dogu needs to maybe get out of their heads a little bit and just play the standard League of Legends that got them to this point, right? That got them to playoffs. Just play what you're good at and don't be afraid and start executing on your win conditions.
Maybe it sounds like you're saying it's a skill issue.
That might be the convoluted way of saying that. Might be the nice way of what I just did. Yeah, it unfortunately is kind of a skill issue right now. And I don't even think that's necessarily because these players are worse. It's just that they came into game 1, they had a plan, they got smacked in the mouth and just haven't been able to recover here. As now Rakan, Annie, and Kai'Sa all being banned out. So they're going to take that Kai'Sa prio away. Iceborn Dawn has been happily going Kai'Sa here consistently. So what are they going to be? One of your Jarvan is still available.
Oh, no.
The Grave that gets locked in here that was, available to them last game. I mean, it's just Iceborn Dawn's feeling himself. Vertigo's like, you know what? Let me just drop another 10 bomb on him.
Yeah, you know what? Get into double digits once again. And Dogu Usun, I'm interested to see what their first 2 picks are going to be. Last time it was Renekton and Tristana. And you know what? I thought that was a pretty good pairing. And he opts into the Gragas v Graves once again. Shibby, the first letter of both of these champions' names, it could be GG.
Unless they've got a plan for this Gragas, maybe flexing it in the top lane.
It could be a flex, yeah.
Could be flexing in a mid. Gragas technically it could be a quad flex, right? Jungle, top, mid, and potentially support here. But I mean, rarely do we see the support one here.
AP carry Gragas in the bottom lane? Question mark.
Hey, you might be
Penza
cooking.
Flex. Maybe I should have put Gragas in for which champion will be played at most positions at Worlds, because you're getting me thinking that maybe he is all 5, but we're going to see Varus get locked in here. So this is going to be a new flavor of AD carry for the side of Dogu Usun. We saw Samira in game 2. In game 1, we saw them pick up Xayah, but this time around, Varus. I like the CC that's going to bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, you could also go for that poke variant. I see a lot of people also just go for the on-hit Varus, which is really, really nice here. But Iceborn Dawn can just completely, make this guy's life a living nightmare. Malzahar potentially gets covered. Ahri as well. Assassins are very good into these immobile AD carries here, as we could potentially see the Twisted Fate. I mean, this guy's hovering a bunch of different champions now.
Yeah, just the only one was the Malzahar that worried me, because that's just mean. That's just cruel and unusual punishment here, as they're just going to lock Alistar anyway here. So Iceborn Dawn, they're going to get Alistar for the first time today. And it's an interesting pairing. It's not something that does a whole lot of damage with Sivir, but it's not bad.
You're just playing the team fight game, right?
Yeah.
Like you pick the Alistar, you can't really dive the Sivir. Sivir's going to wave clear. She's going to shove you in. And by the time it comes to the 5v5 section, or when you guys really want to start team fighting, you press R and there you go. Your Alistar is moving at 100 miles an hour, and he's running into the team of Dogu Usun with CC abundance ready to go.
Yeah, sometimes you just go broom broom and put pedal to the metal. And I like what Dogu Usun is going for here with this Azir. Chibi, they've drafted a little bit of scaling here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, right? Like, you want to play the scaling game. They had scaling game 1. They had Azir game 1, and it just unfortunately didn't really work out for them here. As you can play that game, but it's just Iceborn does it better. Historically, at least in this league, they're more than happy to slow the game down, out macro you, farm up, take objectives. They have just been playing better tonight. And so, like I said, Dogu, like, what are you doing? How do you want to play the game? How do you want to, execute on your win conditions? is this the way you want to play League of Legends, or are you just doing this so because of scrims, like what happened, right? Because this is a team that likes to play more high risk, high reward, and likes to fight, likes to scrap, and this team comp doesn't scream that.
Yeah, it screams that they have been subdued, and again, all of it could be stemming from the swap of their support here, with Usun not playing this evening. So a lot of that can really be damaging to the team, right? The team is named after her. Like, there's a reason why they named the team after their support player. It's because this team bonds around their support player, who is not with us here tonight. So a couple of interesting bans getting put in, but an even more interesting pick here, as it looks like the Gragas will be a flex, as Skarner has been locked in.
That was banned away by Iceborn Dawn in game 1, if you guys recall, as they were on the red side here. It was in their second rotation of bans. So Dogu Usun opting in for that Gragas flex, like we mentioned. It's probably going to be going into that top lane. Skarner getting locked in for the jungle here, and now Iceborn Dawn, they've got to lock in the rest of their team composition. They've got a bounce house going with the Ornn, with the Alistar. I need to see some magic damage. What are they going to take? Are they going to go Ahri? Are they going to go, potentially something a little bit more scaling intent, right? They could go a bunch of different mages here. And even with this Ahri, we could potentially see the AD Ahri build, right?
Oh, we could. I don't know if I'd like it, because I think he'd be a little light on magic damage, but you're certainly right, Chibi. It is something that we could see. I'm happy to see Ornn get locked in here for Iceborn Dawn. Mint Savage has had Ornn banned away 7 times all season, which is a lot for an Ornn, which means that they know that this guy can really get a lot of work done on Ornn. He managed to play a couple games on it, saw a lot of success on it, but the Silas pickup here for Dogu Usun, Shibby, I think this is a Gragas support.
I was hesitant on calling it out early, but yeah, I guess it is a
Good
Gragas Varus bot lane. Gragas Varus bot lane here, and you know what's cool?
It could be a Silas support too.
Could be Silas support as well.
You know, I've been trolled by that.
Yep, you have. Gragas as well, though, has a really good matchup into the Alistar, because the moment Alistar W's in, Gragas just buffers the E and it completely stuffs out the engage. So a bit of a savant pick if that's what they were going for, if they anticipated potentially the Silver Alistar, but they flex this Gragas into the support role. Maybe we'll be able to pan over and find that interaction, because Gragas E just completely destroys Alistar's game.
Oh, yeah. Gragas E, priority 1 stun, baby. People don't know, Shippy. People don't know that certain abilities are on a priority list in League of Legends. And Gragas, priority 1.
Yep. As now we do get into what I believe will be the Spectre delay very, very soon. So I think, Yanni, we've talked about what these teams want to do. We've talked about how they want to win. But I think realistically, right, Dogu Usun have drafted themselves a couple pieces that they want, right? They've outsmarted, outwitted this bot lane, right? They got the Gragas going flex. You've also got Silas into what is Ahri and Alistar, right? A lot of good ultimates to steal from, right? There's so much going for Dogu. This is the game that they have to win. I mean, I know it's 0-2 they're down, but realistically, this is a game where you've gotten what you wanted. You've outdrafted Iceborn Dawn kind of a little bit here with some of these shrewd kind of counter picks. If you don't win this, I mean, I guess you were never meant to be in the playoffs originally.
I don't think you're wrong, Shibby, but the question is this the composition that will get it done? What you've seen them do today and what you've seen them put together, is it enough to take out Iceborn Dawn and force a game 4?
I mean, it definitely has the right pieces. You've got Silas, you've got Skarner, you've got a lot of pick potential. You've got Varus as kind of this like hyper scaling, depending on if he goes, like we said, the on hit build, right? Azir as well, super hyper scaling. So they can get to this point where they can just out team fight Iceborn Dawn, because yeah, you've got Ornn and you've got Sivir, but it's a Graves, it's an Ahri, it's an Alistar. Like, they are just going to get stuffed out completely. Explosive cast value and stun value from this Gragas is so immense.
Yeah, that is so much value there. And that does mean that you can cook a little bit, right? If you're the side of Dogu Usun, ACAPS might have an opportunity to actually make something happen, right? You know, Usun said they've got full confidence that ACAPS will be able to hard carry despite any scenario. And so far in games 1 and 2, they have not been able to get the job done. But with the spacing provided in this composition, maybe it's when we see the damage come in heavy. I don't know what build they're going to go, but their ultimates, their Qs are certainly going to be important in order for Dogu Usun to force a game 4. And now we have finally hit the spectator delay, which means we got potentially one more break. We're going to be on Summoner's Rift in just a little bit. Iceborn Dawn looking for a clean 3-0, looking to head to the semis. Dogu Usun fighting for their lives. Welcome back, Otters. Like I said, it could be the final game of this best of 3 series. But Dogu Usun, they've drafted an interesting composition, and they refuse to lose with it. At least, for the first 30 seconds of the game. It's yet to remain to be seen on how strong their will is. So Shibby, Skarner kind of warps the game around his little spires here.
He does a little bit, but I want to take note of this 4-stack that Iceborn Dawn's got going. I think they're expecting some sort of like red invade potentially. I'm not sure why. It's a Skarner, it's an Azir. I mean, they're just stacked down here expecting maybe the Spire to go down or something like that, but instead they will not be rewarded for their troubles, because now everybody's going to take it back. The Spire goes down, and yeah, you mentioned Skarner warps the game a lot. He is quite literally two different champions. If he's fighting on his Spire, on his crystal zones, he's a pretty damn good duelist, right? He's a pretty damn good jungler. But if you can take away those crystals, if you can fight him not near any of those kinds of zones, he becomes a very, very different champion. Right? He attacks super slow. He can't get his Qs off. He doesn't have as much move speed to kite you around. So it's just going to be dependent on when Beakjung and the rest of the team wants to fight and how they want to fight, right? Around objectives. Are they capturing the Spires? Are they, helping the Skarner secure some of these Rift Scuttlers, right? That kind of stuff. And so I like Skarner. He's a power farm jungler in my mind, but he can get things done early. He has the ability with like Flash E, right? If he gets behind you, or if he has that W ready from his ability and he's using that move speed along with his Spire zones, he could really impact the map here. So typically you will see Skarners just power farm to level 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Beakjung tries to get some sort of gank going, as Acaps has left the game. And actually, never mind, we are fine here. He's completely back as Chill Will is going to look to maybe get a kill.
Yeah, and Quokka gets taken very, very low. And, Beakjung heading over to the top side of the map. And really, we haven't seen Beakjung do anything in the way of early ganks and things like that, which is pretty surprising, right? Acaps, they mentioned they weren't sure how lane was going to go in this series. And so far, it hasn't been that great. But they've had a lot of confidence in their team as a whole outside of lane, and that really hasn't translated over. As you can see, once again, Quokka getting taken very low, but Ghost here for Acaps means that they want to get at least a little bit more damage down. I like what they're attempting, but apparently the plan for them was to play around bot side, and it just has not happened all series long. And Shibby, with a jungler like Skarner, I still don't think it's going to continue.
Yeah, he's just going to be rotating his camps here. I mean, you've got some pretty strong laners, like we said, with the Silas, Varus, Gragas, have that potential to kill here. Is right now, Lacan, with this Silas, I'm going to say counter pick here because they did R5 it. He's doing pretty damn good, shoving the Ornn in. He's going to have a rough time kind of farming under turret. Let's see if he can pick up most of these. Gets a good amount here. Doesn't miss too much.
Min Savage is too good.
Yeah, Min Savage is actually up in CS after everything's said and done.
It was mint, my friend, mint. That's why it's in his name. You see Beakjung gonna go take out top scuttle, bottom scuttle gonna be picked up by Vertigo very shortly as he's heading over there. Fui moving down as well, and there's nothing for Beakjung to take, so they're just gonna take it back all on the other side of the map right here, and that just means that there's no way to help out these lanes a little bit. And he's just power farming to 6, as you said. Once he hits level 6, he needs to get in there though.
Yeah, this guy plays Skarner for sure. Goes for the full Ionian Boots of Lucidity Rush. I love that, right? Especially if your flash is still up. It reduces that flash timer. I'm assuming he has opted in for the phase rush, but I'm assuming he's gone into the inspiration tree and has gone Cosmic Insight so we can get those flashes up even sooner. This combination proves really deadly. As now Chill Will gonna get a kill in the bot lane.
Yep, first blood is going to go over to your mom's OP. Acaps is going to die as well. It's a double kill for Sivir. And once again, the bot lane of Iceborn Dawn is just a little too strong and Beakjung a little too late.
I mean, they had Vertigo in for the support. I mean, that was essentially a 2v2 kill, right? They got the smoke screen down. I think they got one auto, but Quokka on this Gragas support. I thought he was cooking. I thought he had the sauce, but it's all burnt, man. It's just nothing is able to get done down here.
Listen, man, he's got the walk, right? But he's only spraying water into it. He's only making steam. He hasn't actually made anything of substance so far in this series. And I mean, it's hard to rag on him, right? Because coming in on short notice, backup mid laner, and having to play support in the playoffs against a team who, obviously regular season games are different from playoff games. Regular season game, if things aren't going well, I'd be like, guys, we just don't have it tonight, unless you're fighting for a playoff spot in the last couple of weeks. But here, these guys are playing pedal to the metal, and Iceborn Dawn has, we've mentioned it before, playing at a breakneck pace, continuing to do so. But nice to see Lacan in the top side through the Negatron cloak, getting a solo kill.
He has been that bright spot for, I would say, Dogu, right? Even in the Casante game, he was trying to put work in, right? I mean, he has been kind of the one player that you can kind of look at and be like, all right, he's been doing pretty good. He's been laning okay. Lacan definitely has the game sense, has the mechanics to duke it out here and potentially put on a carry performance. And what better champion to do it on other than Silas, is he is going to opt in for that scaling build, right? He's going into, it's not my favorite build. I don't really love it, but he's going to go into Roa, potentially Zonya's next, and he's going to go for that really tanky, beefy Silas build.
You know what? I think you might have to do it, Shibby, to be quite honest with you, because if you've seen the damage that is able to pour out from Vertigo, from your mom's OP, even Fui doing a little bit of damage in some prior games, and tax them, right? Because their composition doesn't have a whole lot of damage. Make them deal damage to you.
I agree. I 100%, think that Lacan's build is going to be more tailored towards that like late game style, right? The Roa, the Zonyas. He could opt in for something like a Spirit Visage, or even, go for something of that Silas variant. As Beakjung is level 6, is now going to yank the horn.
He's made a play. They're going to get a kill on the Min Savage. It goes over to Beakjung. The Dragon does get secured by Iceborn Dawn, but Beakjung hits level 6, hits the R button, and they get a kill.
He didn't even need to flash there, right? He just walks up, impales him, and lets Lacan beat him to a pulp. Mint Savage as well dropped the flash and was still unable to get out here. And so, yeah, it is.
Okay. Oh.
Shibby,
you here?
I'm here. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Sorry.
I was worried for a second. Shibby?
Blue buff does get invaded here.
Okay. Uh-oh. I think Shibby's dead. I think Shibby is dead. So, while Shibby is dead, that is A-okay. We will press on here. Lacan has finished his mythic already. The Rod of Ages pre-8 minutes. Really, really impressive stuff. It's got 63 CS right now, as you can see. Engagement onto the bot lane. A-Cap's getting very low. They're trying to get the dive going. Chillwell is going to take a turret shot, and Vertigo drops the ultimate on him. It's just too clean from these guys, and A-Caps is going to fall as well, trying desperately to get a kill on the way out. And the heal comes out, means your mom's OP will survive. A very clean 2-0 in favor of Iceborn Dawn. Top side of the map looking fine for the side of Dogu Usun, but the bottom side of the map has fallen apart completely. It is not where you wanted it to be. And, nope. I mean, this does mean that Skarner will be able to take the Rift Herald. Shibby has returned.
He has returned. I've seen everything. I've opened my third eye, and I've been able to see into the futures. Right now, Beakjung is going to take the Herald here. And after all said and done, like you mentioned, that bot lane kill. Sivir 3-0, you've got the objective being traded here. But like you said, Dogu being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more proactive, and the Roa has been completed for Silas here at around the 8.5 minute mark here. So he's going to get that stacking very, very early. And you have to believe once that's fully stacked, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I think he might already be a force to be reckoned with, Shibby. Remember, he was chewing through Min Savage despite that magic resistance that he's got, as Min Savage has your two key items when you are dealing with magic damage dealers and physical damage dealers. You've got the, you've got the heal cut, and you've got the magic resistance. That's really all you ever wanted. The Bramble Vest is just too good of an item. But the CS still firmly in the way of Lacan, and it's nice to see him kind of pop off a little bit here. It's still early, but I consider this a pop off based off of how the rest of the series is gone, as Quokkaduck gets caught out and has to flash away.
Quokkaduck, this Gragas support has been underwhelming, I'm going to say, right? Like, it hasn't really been able to effectively cancel out this Alistar, because what you're supposed to do is once the Alistar W's in, you have the E prepped, ready to go, and you can answer essentially spell for spell, and you negate any sort of engage here. But they've just been getting the better. This bot lane of Your Mom's OP and Chill Will have been getting the better of Dogu here. Now the dive comes out. Vertigo.
They did it once. They're going to try to do it twice. They're too far away from the turret. ACAPS has to flash back onto the turret. Your Mom's OP takes a turret shot. The Ignite is on. They're very low, but so is everybody else. ACAPS is the last target. ACAPS trying to fight around the turret. Vertigo trying to heal up, and Vertigo will be able to get the kill, and he survives for now. And the headbutt away of Beak Jung. He used his flash. He had his ult available, and he can't pull the trigger, Shibby, but he's chasing him down. He's trying to get Your Mom's OP, but he had the spell shield the whole time. And Beak Jung not able to get one back. Good defense there after a successful dive.
He flashed for the Sivir, but Sivir flashed over the wall. Your Mom's OP flash for flash, and by the time it was over, Beak Jung is left in awe as the bodies of his allies are on the ground. As now Mint Savage is gonna get tower dove here. Khan, despite what's happening on the rest of the map, he's trying to top gap. He's trying to will his team to a game 4.
Himmy Turner, Himmy Butler, or Lacan, it's all the same. He is trying to will his team, as you said, to a game 3 victory. And everybody knows when Silas gets fed, he's very difficult to deal with, Shibby. They're only down about 500 gold. This is a valid game for Silas to be able to carry.
Yeah, but you're facing into what is a Graves and Sivir, two fed 80 carries, and Your Mom's OP not opting in for the static Shiv rush, instead going for the Kraken Slayer. So he's front-loaded his damage. He's got that ready to go. So if Lacan can't get in, if he's having trouble getting towards his backline, this Sivir can do wonders, especially those bouncing blades, the ricochets. This can just tear through a Dogu's team comp. Is now you might see a cheeky steal as the spell shield does go down, misses though, unfortunately. And second dragon going over to Iceborn Dawn is now the rift has changed and it is a Chemtech soul ripe for the taking.
Yep, 2 dragons for the side of Iceborn Dawn, but I like what Beak Jung has at least done when the objectives go away. All up in the jungle of Vertigo, taking everything they can away is Fui. Does have ultimate available, down to about half HP. They're going to try to get on top of Mulgay, but Mulgay is going to slide out with the Sand Soldiers and the Emperor's Divide under the turret. Vertigo takes a turret shot. The auto attacks are still coming down. Beak Jung is going to pop the Rift Herald. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, ACAPS is able to get a kill there. Or no, the other way around. My apologies. As the fight breaks out, Lacan stole the Ahri ultimate, slides in, takes out the Graves. It's a double kill in the bottom lane for Chill Will. Kills as Your Mom's OP goes down. The Rift Herald gets in, lands the crash, gets some gold, but a lot of wild things happening. But Shibby, ultimately, it's a gold lead, or, you know, he's at least even right now for the side. Oh my God. For the side of Dogu Usun, it's still even. If Fui goes really deep for that one, unable to close it out.
The chaos has ensued, and after the dust has settled, Yanni, it's a dead even gold margin for both of these teams, right? 23.9, 23.8. I mean, these guys are trading back and forth. The gold is on different sides of each team, right? The Silas, massive chunk of gold in his pocket at the moment. You look on the other side, it's the Graves. It's not the Graves, sorry. It's the Sivir, right? Who has a massive gold lead, right? These guys are trying to carry from these positions. Your Mom's OP has a better track record. Lacan, this is the first time that he's significantly popped up, that where he's absolutely stifled Mint Savage in the lane here. As Mint Savage has taken the Garen to him, has taken the Swain, has been able to route him. Right now, this guy is sitting on an abyssal mass. This Ornn is nowhere near tanky enough to frontline for his team, and so maybe that has a knock-on effect. Maybe the Sivir can't get in, can't do the damage, and instead, Lacan and Mulgay will be dive buddies, sliding in, sliding out, looking to pick up kills.
Jimmy, for the first time in a long time, we're going to have a fight at around, anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes that could determine the game, actually. And a lot of the game was predetermined in a great spell shield stack, but Your Mom's OP is going to get knocked back in, and ACAPS gets credit for that kill. And all of a sudden, Dogu Usun, better late than never, they've come alive here in Game 3.
Explosive cast, so good, right? You have one spell shield, and that's not enough. You've got to dodge the Varus ultimate. The Gragas body slam is now Chill Will. They're going to slide in for their homie. They said Sivir went down, and instead, Quokkaduck is able to flash out here as Rift Herald does get taken by Beak Junk, and the rest of Dogu Usun, very solid map play. They have come alive. They've woken up. It took them a little bit of time, but it seems that these guys might be a little nocturnal.
It's the dead of winter, Shibby. You're outside, you're trying to start up the old truck, and finally it ignites and it is up and running. You can finally drive to work at 6 a.m., but it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast. And as you said, Nocturnal team coming alive here. That second Rift Herald, it could make some things happen. And look at the suite of mythics. It's 3 mythics completed for the side of Dogu Usun. They have a completed item on ACAPS. It is a Kraken Slayer, so they're at least matching the Kraken Slayer of your mom's OP. The first turn, however, goes over to Iceborn Dawn, and the gold lead, however brief they had it for, it shrinks. Dogu Usun needs to continue to make plays, start getting the snowball going.
Yeah, this is the fear, right? They start slowing the game down, right? They've made play after play after play here, but I'm afraid that Dogu might revert into old habits. They might revert into what made them lose game 1 and game 2. They'll slow it down. They won't be as proactive, and instead they'll allow a team like Iceborn Dawn to get back in, to make plays, because you already know this team is willing to pull the trigger. They already know that they're willing to fight on every single objective here. Based off their history in this past series, 22-minute victory, 26-minute victory. Once they get a gold lead, it's really difficult to come back.
Yep, but Dogu Usun, they're the one with the gold lead. So the question is Iceborn Dawn able to come in from behind? Rift Herald going to get dropped because one charge is all it'll take to knock this turret down. Vertigo getting forced out from the side. Chill Will Kills is nearby, but so is Quokkaduck. They can go for the fight if they want. The QSS tax was paid, and here comes the teleport coming in. Big charm, big knockups. Vertigo is down. Vertigo's down.
Watch
Chill Will Kills is there. Lacan has the ultimate from the Alistar. He is really big right now and hard to stop him. Mint Savage knocking out multiple people, and Chill Will Kills running point trying to knock him out, but Chill Will Kills is the one who goes down, and everybody is still alive. Lacan goes super deep, and he gets the kill. Is Lacan gonna survive? He dies, but they take out the Ahri, but Ahri gets one on the way back. It's a 4-for-1, and the question, Shibby, can you teach a dog you new tricks? I think you can. They're winning game 3.
Right now, they've got the lead. They cemented themselves with a solid 2,500 here. They're going to take the Chemtech Dragon as well here. Start that stacking for themselves right now. And Lacan, like we mentioned, has that gold lead. You mentioned Silas. Is he stoppable? Can you do anything about him when he gets these early leads? He is just sliding in. He has so much healing with the Kingslayer. He's got Roa. He's got Cosmic Drive. He's working towards that. Zonia's as well. Has the stopwatch in his pocket. He is so hard to kill here. And unfortunately, Mint Savage, a little late, I believe, on the group up here, as joins the fight too late, unable to provide that front line, that tank line that is needed to allow Sivir and Graves to put in work here. And so that lead that you had with your mom's OP, it's gone. It's shrunk because Varus is now coming back into the game. He's close to that Rage Blade as he has that Rage Knife and Pickaxe handy. He's going to be able to match Sivir and items very, very soon.
Gibby, we're about to learn a lot about Iceborn Dawn in this game because for the first time, I'd say they're pretty firmly behind, but they're not out of it just yet. I am interested to see what they're going to pull out playing from behind here. Some teams are good at it, some teams are not. But Lacan, the Call the Forge got it, breaks the spell shield of your mom's OP. Chill Will Kills once again a running point, but the chains of corruption from the Varus roots up one member. They're going to try to go after Vertigo next. Vertigo can't dash over the wall. He's stunned up. Here comes the Call the Forge. It's going to knock up 2 members, but they take out Vertigo anyway. And now they're going to try to turn on to Savage, who charges away. And yeah, you mentioned it. Bottom lane, it's Azir just pushing in. The Cask misses from Quokkaduck, so they will take 2 kills for nothing as Ahri ended up going down on the bottom side. And Mulgay getting a solo kill, going to get solo turret gold as well. Everything coming up Dogu Usun.
Yeah, they are playing this game the way I wanted them to, right? They're being aggressive. They're playing off their leads. They're not letting up on the gas. It took a little bit, like you mentioned. It was a diesel engine. You started it, and finally it's getting going. Is now it's a nearly 5,000 gold lead for this team. And if you're on Iceborn's Dawn side, this is a new situation. You haven't been like this series, right? How do you get back into this? You have to pay the tax. You have to respect the engage that is this Silas, that is this Skarner here, because they're just running through your team. And by the way, Azir 3-0-5 has the death cap in handy. There is so much damage front loaded on this team that you have to try to get a pick. You've got to catch somebody out and slowly but methodically work your way back into the game. As Khan with the stolen Ahri ultimate.
The stolen Ahri ultimate, your mom's OP gets mobbed on by Quokka and Lacan, and now forcing the real Ahri ultimate out. And now Fui, they're not going to be able to make anything happen in this fight. This top lane turret goes down. Shibby, the pings are on the Baron. They're in the driver's seat. Dogu, Usun have come alive. We keep saying it, but 21 minutes in, they're the ones on the Baron. They're the ones with the man advantage. Can they secure it? Vertigo is showing up to the area, but is he going to be able to find a way in? Beekjung away from the Baron. He's going to go back, try to secure it. He will be able to secure it. Call the Forge got hits damn near everybody as they're finding knockups. Lacan is really strong though, and he's on top of Vertigo. He gets charmed out. They got to kite it out. They made him go golden. I think they found him. Lacan trying to sustain, trying to dash away. He'll flash away. The quick draw, not quite going to get him there. Lacan will live to fight another day. The Baron secured for Dogu Usun, but Iceborn Dawn certainly not going down without a fight as Vertigo picks one more up.
They get the Baron, but they lose 3 in the process. Objective bounties have ticked, though. 6,000 gold in the lead for Dogu Usun, as now they're picking up the pieces. They got Baron on the Silas. I believe they've got Baron on the Skarner here, so they've got to group up at least a little bit and try to push some of these turret downs. A lot of standing gold, though. The TP gets invested. They're going to look for another fight.
Oh, Beekjung could be in Chillwell could be in a little bit of trouble as Chillwell is going to be the sacrificial lamb, be the team player, get everybody else out of there, as it's going to be another kill going over to Dogu Usun. Turrets getting taken out here in the top side as Ahri is going to claim a lot of gold on that one. But there's not much else to be done right now for the side of Iceborn Dawn as they're losing their jungle for the first time. Vertigo has found himself, even on CS, with even less of his jungle to take.
And we talked about the draft. We talked about how shrewd it was that they were able to counterpick top, and they had that engaged. They got the Silas into what was the Alistar, the Ornn, and the Ahri. They've got all these champions that thematically do so well into Iceborn's team composition. But we talked about it. It was execution. Can they find the rhythm? Can they find the ability to execute on their team comp's win conditions? And so far, Dogu have been playing pretty damn well. They've had objective control past around the 14-minute mark. They've gotten both dragons. They've picked up the Baron. They are starting skirmishes where they have the advantage. They're using their TPs, and this is off the back of Lacan, who is just 1v1ing Vertigo.
Vertigo down to about half HP, but Fui is here to try to help him out. That Alistar ultimate going to be used. Good dodging from Vertigo, but Beekjun has shown up to the party. Quokka also looking to cut him off in the pass. Chill Will kills is slowed, but a charm coming out. Now Beekjun trying to get closer and closer, and that's going to force the Ahri ultimate away. Acaps takes down Min Savage along with Mulgay in the 2v1, and your mom's OP is on the top side, wants to get that top inner turret, but the rest of the base is falling. They're pushing down on the middle inhibitor turret. Beekjun and Quokka, they don't do it very quickly, but Beekjung has quite a bit of damage to put down on it. Bot inner turret is going to fall. They're going to split gold amongst the carries. Chill Will kills, finds the knockup. They find the charm on the Beekjung. Beekjung down, half HP, gets the shield, flashes away, teleport coming in. They will be able to take him down. Your mom's OP gets the gold for that one, but Khan gets knocked up. They're going to try to get on top of your mom's OP, but now he's gone golden. It's a 4v4 for right now. Lacan will slide out with the Ahri ultimate, and it looks like they won't lose too much more here. There is a TP coming on the side here from the Ornn. Does he have to call the Forge God available? He does, but he lands it on nobody, and Mulgay's going to slide out the back door, and they get away, Shibby! They get away, the Great Escape!
Acaps with the flash, and Mulgay with the slide here. Silas as well is able to dip on out with the Ahri ultimate. The mobility of this team, the reactions of Dogu. Game 1, Game 2 didn't happen. The real Dogu Usun has finally arrived.
Okay, very, very low as they're pushing forward. Chill Will kills. Good headbutt to try to keep him away, but he will fall once again. He's given away a lot of those kills. It's only been 3 of them, but it feels like much more. Lacan, call the Forge God. He can hit multiple here. He's going to knock up 2. He's going to take out Fui Fui, and he's not done yet, but Min Savage is going to dash away. Lacan just bringing it down the mid lane, my man. He's going in. He's using the Kingslayer to try to heal up, but he finally gets forced off. But multiple members have shown up. Beak Jung is here. Quokka is here. A-Caps is here. They're going to pillage the top side jungle and maybe look for the top inner turret.
Yeah, after all said and done, after all the chaos that happened in the mid lane, in the top, and even the bot lane, the dust has settled, and now objective bounties have still ticked off for Iceborn Dawn here. It's 51-45. It's a 6,500 gold lead for Dogu Usun. 8-1-5, sorry, on the Silas, 4-1-6 on the Azir. These guys have hit their power spikes. They're 3 items deep. They are going to shred through whatever front line Iceborn Dawn has managed for themselves as the Radiant, Virtue, and Abyssal Mask is completed, but it feels like this Ornn is made of paper mache. He's just not tanky enough.
And one thing I want to shout out Dogu Usun for, Shibby, we've seen it a lot in series where it looks like there's just a definitely stronger team. That in game 3, the stronger team kind of messes around a little bit, and that's how they drop a game. That hasn't been the case here. Iceborn Dawn has fought very hard to try to win this game, and they're continuing to fight as they've caught out Lacan here. He's gone golden. Chains of Corruption go down, but Lacan will fall. They're not able to get anything more out here, so it ends up being a 1 for nothing.
1 for nothing so far. That was nice gold going into the pockets of Iceborn Dawn as well, as I believe he did have a shutdown. But Muge, once again, he's just splitting down the bot lane here, and he is so strong. I don't know if you can just send one person to match him as Fui Fui is going to get caught out.
Fui Fui's caught. Fui Fui's stunned. Fui Fui's dead. And now Vertigo's the next target, but Chill Will kills is here. Min Savage going to knock up 1. They're on top of Beak Jung. Turret going down as Mulgay is sticking to split. They will take out Beak Jung, so A-Caps has to get away. But Mulgay quickly getting an inhibitor and could potentially be looking for more as nobody's tried to stop him. He's going to take the mid lane inhibitor too as the Baron has been started by Iceborn Dawn. They're getting the Baron and sacking their entire base. A-Caps, we've seen Gumi Yusi get steals before. Can we get a steal here? He's going to not fire it away, but here comes that double TP. There's the Baron going down for Iceborn Dawn, but the ultimate coming out from the Azir. Vertigo's got nowhere to go. Chill Will kills is going to fall as well. It's 2 inhibitors falling. It's 2 members falling as Fui Fui is about to respawn. It's going to be a 3v4 for right now, Shibby, as Beak Jung is not near the base, but everybody else is. Mulgay, full HP. Emperor's Divide still on cooldown. A-Caps has that Chains of Corruption ready to go. Lacan has that stolen ultimate, that Call of the Forge God. They could make a play.
They've got the wave clear. They've got Baron empowered minions coming up. The call, risky as it is, gets them a little bit closer, cuts the gold down to about 5,000. You put Baron in your pockets as well. You stall the game out. This is a 3rd Chemtech Dragon, though, going into the pockets of Dogu Usun here. They're 1 away from Chemtech Soul. It's going to be really difficult to take this team down if they get that thing stacked all the way to 4. Chemtech Soul, 4 Chemtech Dragons. This team might be nigh unkillable.
Jimmy, we're in uncharted territory, cresting the 29-minute mark, as these teams have not played a game this damn long. It feels like it's 2 games in 1. We're getting the 2-for-1 special here in game 3. But you can tell that Iceborn Dawn is not ready to quit. I think we can firmly say they've been outscaled, but they are still making some plays. They're getting some picks. It's everything afterward that is not coming together for them.
And this gold lead, you got to look at it. You got to understand that it's not exactly, 4,000, 5,000. This Call of the Forge God does get thrown out here. It was a stolen one. I'm presuming it was running out here because ornaments are such a big thing, right? That cuts the gold down just a little bit. You've got Liandry's Torment upgraded. You've got Navori Quickblades upgraded here. Eventually, as he starts ticking, there's going to upgrade potentially the Triforces. Now, A-Caps absolutely bursts out. Fui Fui having an uncharacteristic game on the RE 2, 5, and 4. You blink and you miss it.
Stylus ain't the only one with change, Shibby. as Varus has them too. They're going to take the top inner turret, and now they get to focus on the final turret. Teleport getting used here by Mint Savage. It's going to be a 5v4 for right now. They've had a hard time winning straight up 4v4s, but they're going to have to dig their heels in, and they're going to have to try to win this one. Shibby minions pouring in to the middle of the base as a big wave getting stacked on the bottom side.
Luckily, the Baron minions are going to help provide some of that, minion killing power, not allow them to push in here. And it just shows how integral, how key Baron is to closing out some of these games. As right now, Iceborn Dawn have been able to stall this game out probably 5-6 minutes sooner than when they should have lost. As now, you look at the damage being poured in from the Azir as Fui is back up. Lacan has the stolen Alistar ultimate. He's liable to just dive you under both Nexus turrets simply because he's got the unbreakable will here ready to go. Will this be the fight that determines it?
Mulgay getting very low. He's pushed off to the side. They're going to go after Beat Jung. Mulgay falls. A-Caps has gone golden. A-Caps going to be in trouble. He gets charmed. He goes down. Big shutdown. Quokka Duck's got to run away. Lacan is the one that has to try to get him all the way. Good ultimate from the Gragas, but Vertigo is in hot pursuit. Beat Jung is going to be able to get away, and they bite back. Does Iceborn Dawn, but Vertigo ain't finished yet. Vertigo's looking to close out on the kill. Quokka Duck is low. Lacan has a stolen Graves ult this time around. You know they're liable to turn around at any time, but they're going to have to back off a 2-0, and Iceborn Dawn holds the line.
In the back of their base, with 2 inhibitors down, they find the team fight. A-Caps didn't have flash available. Mint Savage's Ornn ultimate, the Call of the Forge God. All of them have missed so far, but this one, the crucial one, hits 3 members of Dogu Usun, sets up the play. A-Caps went down, Mulgay went down, and that's a good chunk of your damage. Unfortunately, Lacan cannot carry this team completely. Silas 4 items in with the Void Staff. It's just not enough, not yet. You gotta believe that Dogu is smacking themselves on the head right now. They want to end this game. It's taking too long, Yanni.
Don't look now, Shibby, but the gold lead's only at 4,000. Now, remember, there's a dragon in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and that's something that is really going to be picked up here by Dogu Usun. They are going to hard focus that one. Baron, though, is at about the same time, which means they could execute a swap here if they want to. The question is, who's the swap going to favor?
I feel like if you give Iceborn Dawn another Baron, let them stall out even more, this Sivir is going to get to a crazy point, right? The 500 CS, 5 item, 6 item Sivir might just be enough to carry here. We've seen those bouncing blades, those ricochets burst through here. So I don't think they want to trade potential. I think Iceborn Dawn want all of it. They want the milk, they want the cookies, they want their cake, and they want to eat it too. They don't want to go down and trade. They want to fight you on your dragon. They want to fight you for the Baron. And that's just what this team's about.
Maybe we could see the dagger coming soon. 30 seconds on 2 objectives here. So they're hovering around the mid lane. It's a 5v4 for right now, and they see that they remember down. They're going to land a knock up onto the Gragas. Gragas is going to be the initial target, but Vertigo on the side. Vertigo is very low, but he survives. He survives. Lacan's going to go back in. Lacan's stuck. Lacan's stuck in everybody. He's knocked up, and he goes down. They found the carry. It's a 5v4, Shibby.
You don't get the dragon, you don't get the Baron, you lose 2 members! Dogu Usun, you have fumbled the bag!
Mulgay is very low. Mulgay flashes away and survives for right now. It's going to be Varus pushing down in the mid lane. And now Beak Jung still has smite available if he wants to try to find a way in, but it's a 5v1, and the dragon will be secured. We are going to see Drake number 7, Shibby, as A-Caps is shoving down the mid lane. Nobody's backed quite yet, but it's Min Savage showing up to the party. And now they're going to turn onto the Baron. Wait, A-Caps is going to stay. He's got to try to take out Min Savage. He's got it. They're not collapsing. No, it's going to be Ari, actually, that they're sending over to collapse on him, but A-Caps is going to be able to take out one. And now the Baron's been started. They're missing a little bit of damage. Beak Jung wants to find a way in. Mulgay is here. Is the Emperor's Divide available? It is. He has an opportunity to potentially go in, but Fui is going to be able to take down the Varus. Here comes the teleport. Beak Jung getting very low. He gets knocked up. He's down to about half HP. He's going to be dead. Mulgay's the target. Mulgay is low. Mulgay's still alive, but the Emperor's Divide only hits 1, and Lacan's in the middle of the once again. He's gonna go down, but Quokka Duck able to get one on the way out. Min Savage lands the knockup. Quokka Duck's gonna fall. It's an ace, Shibby. It's an ace for Iceborn Dawn.
They might be able to end through bottom lane. The death timers are long, 20 seconds on ACAP. That's the member that's going to be up. He's got to be the hero for Dogu Usun. The game that they've had the gold lead the whole time. There is no way you're telling me they fumbled the bag this hard. Iceborn Dawn from the claws of defeat. They dig their heels, and they might take the Nexus. They might just win it 3-0. ACAPs versus the world.
Ice up, son, because Iceborn Dawn is looking to win the game, and Savage will fall. The next target's the AD carry. Vertigo trying to bang onto this Nexus right here. You've suppressed the auto attacker. Your mom's OP. Can they get him? They can. Vertigo able to close out the game. Iceborn Dawn, as you said, pulling victory from the clutches of defeat. They 3-0 the set.
What? After all that, 35 minutes and 36 seconds, Iceborn Dawn off the back of Sivir, end the game.
Oh,
like
man.
you said, the dagger may just be it. They go for a spit play, they get the dragon, they get the baron, they get the ace, and they finally wind up with the Nexus. Dogu Usun, after trying so hard, game 1 and game 2 they lose. Game 3 they had it. They could have started the reverse sweep, but Iceborn Dawn closes it out, shuts those ideas out the door. Congratulations. 3-0 win for them. What an absolute banger of a game 3, Yanni.
It's always a banger in the BOL, Shibby. Even though it was just game 3 to make it a 3-0, they fought hard. It was a hard-fought match by Dogu Usun. I'm happy they were able to come alive and show why they went 4-1 and how good of a team that they can be when things are firing on all cylinders, but it just wasn't enough. And Shibby, I'm shocked, frankly. I thought they had it, man. They had this game in the palm of their hands. They had the scaling. Mulgay was playing so well. ACAPS was on fire. Lacan playing crazy. It just wasn't enough. And you have to wonder, Shibby, take a look at the damage charts. Beak Jung did the least damage in the game.
He's Skarner, right? Like, I can't fault him for that. His job is to run and stun. The rest of his team just could not make it work. And it was towards that later game, Mulgay and ACAPS constantly getting caught out, right? You flash the Forge God, but then you know who's there? Chillwell with the flash WQ. ACAPS is just not respecting the engage distance. They weren't respecting the engage power of this Iceborn Dawn team. And like you said, there are ways they can get back into this game. It's not over. They were only 6,000 down, and slowly but surely, methodically off the back of this Sivir, and especially with the ornaments coming online. It's a level 18 Ornn. He upgraded everybody's items. That's not a 6,000 gold lead. That's maybe 2,000, 3,000. And fight after fight, you could slowly see Dogu losing it. Their priorities, the objectives, everything was slipping through their fingers, and until eventually the game slipped through the cracks here. Congratulations once again to Iceborn Dawn for closing it out 3-0 in absolutely dominant fashion in game 1 and game 2, and to have the resilience to come back in game 3 after a 6,000 gold deficit. Fantastic play. You guys deserve it. I can't wait to see what's in store more for this team. I mean, if this is just quarters, Yanni, this is just quarters. I can't wait for semis.
Yeah, and it's not like Dogu Usun were a team that were pushovers, right? This was a 4-1 team. Yes, this was the 4 seed, right? But I mean, they tied the, it was tiebreakers, right? They were 4 seed because of tiebreakers. So Iceborn Dawn certainly showed that they belong and they can contend with some of the top teams in the BOL playoffs. But Chibi, you said you're excited for what's in store for them. Well, how about what's in store for the Blue Otter League is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're shifting gears to BOL Platinum. It's not going to be a playoff series. It is week 6. It'll be Con Esports versus Elysium Shield. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Gold followed up on the 11th. That'll be 8 p.m. Eastern as well. And then, of course, IBS on Thursdays. And, of course, Diamond going to be played on Saturdays. But that is going to be it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for watching. the only thing left to say is for myself, for producer Oles, for Shibby, for the entire Blue Water League family, thank you all so much for being here tonight, and we hope to see you tomorrow for some more Blue Water League action.